Hello, welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews podcast number 11.
Number 11.
I'm Gary.
I'm Ian.
And joining us for the podcast is Dave. Welcome back, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
And of course, we're going to be talking about things that we've watched recently, films and television.
Yeah.
The second part of the podcast is going to be about Ian, I believe.
Yes.
What?
Yes,
How did this get on the agenda to talk about Ian for an hour?
Because it's going up in November, and November is my birthday month.
Does that mean we're going to be doing that every November?
Possibly.
And finally, we'll be answering your questions. So, Ian, as you're hijacking this podcast,
yes,
you can start us off. What have you watched recently that you want to talk about?
Well, between work and editing and trying to keep the show going and just being responsible in life.
Have you recovered from Resident Evil yet?
Oh, I recovered quite quickly from Resident Evil because I'd already I'd seen it before you, so I was all prepared.
I'm still in therapy, Ian.
Yeah, that was your idea.
Because we've just gone from Resident Evil into some truly atrocious horror movies too. We've had at least one. We did Pet Sematary, which was nice, but
but we had a couple after that, which were a chore to get through. I have been watching a lot of Red Dwarf.
Oh, awesome! Me too.
Red Dwarf, the new series, has started on Dave, I believe it is.
Yeah.
On Sky.
I gotta say though, the episode Cured,
yeah,
I thought was perhaps the worst episode of Red Dwarf I've ever seen.
Which one was Cured?
It's the one where they find the scientist who's cured evil.
And
so
from Hitler, and Hitler wants to take a selfie and things like that.
I hated it. I hated it so much. I didn't laugh
at all.
No, man, I love Red Dwarf.
No, not listening to it. Not listening to it. Because I love Red Dwarf too. And what we're on 14th season now? 12 season. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's when the line on the title screen kind of separates. It confuses me. Okay, season 12. I never expected them to get this far.
Well, I knew season 12 was done because they filmed 11 and 12 back to back.
I didn't think they'd get this far since maybe meeting up with Kachansky and the dwarf coming back.
Back season 8.
And going out and making a film and still making season after season. I mean, there's only 6 episodes, I think, in this season.
Yeah, well, there was in the last one as well.
I just love seeing it on screen.
Yeah, I'm just so glad it's still going.
The jokes could be stupid as hell and the guys look... aged at the moment, and obviously Crichton looks a little bit round about the edges. Don't care. It's still funny. The little stories that they do, the way that they just get the show running.
Sorry, I know you're in the middle of the flow, Ian, but I just want to tell everyone listening at home that right now there is a raging storm going on outside. I have new housemates in the house, and I also have Jeff and Jez that are in the middle of serious Warframe farming, grinding now.
We were hoping we could probably just speak over it, but at the moment, it's going to be. So if you hear tapping and you hear footsteps and you hear people moving around, that's them.
It's not Ian doing the rain dance.
No. I'm just sat here trying to talk about Red Dwarf, and everyone's having a good old Saturday night party out there.
Well,
it sucks.
To bring it back to Red Dwarf, I mean, you would go out and criticise them, but you cannot criticise.
No, I can't criticise. I'm loud as well. They've got to do their thing. A recent new series that I saw, a trailer on Netflix, Jim and Andy.
Yes, it's a documentary. I've actually put this down in the news section,
on Andy Kaufman and Jim Carrey playing him in Man on the Moon. And, oh my God, I absolutely fucking adore Andy Kaufman. I think he is absolutely amazing.
A comic genius.
I love Jim Carrey as well.
For me, it's Jim Carrey's. It's my favourite role next to The Truman Show.
Yes.
He really got under the skin of Andy Kaufman. And just from that trailer alone, you could tell that Jim Carrey didn't know what to do with himself once he was done with that role.
Well, he just jumped into that character and became that character.
He idolised him too.
Like any good actor would do to obviously do the part justice. He jumps in and he becomes Andy Kaufman. And the weird thing is, when you're watching it, you can kind of understand why Andy Kaufman rubbed people up the wrong way.
Oh, totally, because
his comedy was a side apart compared to other people's, and he broke ground with some of his crazy ideas. I mean, I actually think he made doing practical jokes to unsuspecting audiences on live TV stemmed from Andy Kaufman. We saw it now. We see it nowadays, especially with like Impractical Jokers just going out and recording them. Andy Kaufman was there doing it back in the day, and people were like, "I don't get it. You're not funny." That guy was a genius. And then seeing Jim Carrey, I don't know if it's going to be a one-off Or a bunch of episodes?
I think it'll just be a feature documentary.
Yeah,
I think.
I think it's interesting that Universal Studios blocked all the behind-the-scenes footage of the film.
Really? Universal Studios blocked something and wouldn't allow it on the internet?
They did it to try and
That's
protect.
weird.
They did it to try and protect Jim Carrey because they didn't want audiences to think that he was a complete douchebag. Because Jim Carrey caused havoc throughout filming. He ruined sound tests.
Yeah.
He got physically violent and threw props around and just went, I'm walking off, and just walked off set.
He was the spirit of Andy Kaufman.
Absolutely. So he made making that film a hell. And, and the other actors that had actually worked with Andy Kaufman were saying that it was like Andy Kaufman was resurrected. Like he was just possessed by him.
He was just in the room.
And of course, we're talking about the film Man on the Moon, which is the film where this documentary's come from. And, the first time I watched that film, that was my introduction to Andy Kaufman. I didn't really know who he was.
Yeah.
And that film just blew me away. Just the character, the biopic, and Jim Carrey's performance, and and then looking into Andy Kaufman afterwards. So the documentary's called Jim and Andy: The Great Beyond.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant.
Have you been watching the interviews with Jim Carrey recently, and how Jim Carrey doesn't exist anymore? He says, and
really,
he's been going through a lot recently with his private life and the thing that happened with his ex-girlfriend, his ex-partner, where she committed suicide.
Right.
He supposedly supplied her the painkillers, and now he's going for a massive court case. And I think this is why this show's come about. I mean, I don't want to sound
so now it is to make him look like a douchebag.
No. Obviously, when you're in court fees are expensive, and money can only go so far, especially if you're an actor who's not working.
Right.
So then,
he's done a lot of films, but
if they release something new and get a bit of money back, then obviously that can help his court case. But let's go on something else because it's a bit dark now.
Okay. Well, speaking of going dark, everyone's wanted to know what thoughts are on Blade Runner 2049.
Go on then, hit us up then, guys.
So Ryan Gosling, Harrison Ford. Well, Harrison Ford for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
So I'm not going to go into major spoilers, but what I will say is that I walked out of the film feeling really, really indifferent and really...
Oh, really?
Like a replicant.
And really kind of a sense of melancholy about the whole thing. It was like, the film didn't upset me, it didn't piss me off, and I didn't love it. But I still enjoyed the experience. One of the things that annoyed me was that there was a lot of scenes in the film that was really good at world building, but did not move the plot forward in any way or really add to it.
They call that padding, Gary.
Well, yeah, but considering the film was as long as it was, there was
how long?
those
3 hours.
3 hours nearly.
So you went to the cinema and watched a massive 3-hour epic on the big screen.
Yeah.
Came out having had to digest it.
It was a lot to digest, but the thing is, I also kind of felt like dozing off in the film because I was not emotionally invested in the characters.
It's 3 hours long. Yeah, I'd probably have a look at that as well.
And so I kind of But the same thing is that I felt indifferent the first time I watched the original Blade Runner. It was only after repeat viewings of that film that I really grew to love that film. And so, with this new Blade Runner, it might be a case of waiting a little while, watching it again, and trying to peel away the layers. There's definitely some really good moments in the film that makes it worth seeing.
Yeah.
But I was also really agitated by the soundtrack. I love the Blade Runner, the Blade Runner soundtrack, the music by Vangelis. I've got the soundtrack, I listen to it. It's great just to relax to.
Yeah.
And the music in the new Blade Runner felt like Inception's brrr, brrr. It was just horrible noise.
So I'm glad I wikied this movie instead.
Oh, and it's still definitely worth seeing.
Yeah, definitely. I want to go see it, but seeing when it was released, I was just like, okay, I'm going to hit it on Wikipedia and read the story, and then I will watch it on DVD when it comes out and find out Gary's opinion.
It's a beautifully shot film. It's worth seeing on the big screen.
I bet it is. Obviously, we're talking Blade Runner too.
Yeah.
But reading the plot kind of said to me they made a better, sequel movie than Alien Covenant.
Well, yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
You know, it kind of made sense, and it got to a point. It doesn't settle the age-old question like they thought it was going to answer, but for me, it does particularly.
No, it doesn't.
Yes,
it doesn't answer the question. It
yes,
leaves
it does.
it leaves it as open as for interpretation as the original film did.
Which
I'm glad of, which is why it didn't upset me.
Yeah, but you were waiting for that. You were waiting for the answer, as was I. As was a bunch of fans.
I'm happy with the fact that really only two people in the whole world know. Harrison Ford and Ridley Scott, you know, and they can keep their secret to themselves.
Don't they disagree?
And I'm allowed to interpret that film the way I've seen it. And I know you disagree, Ian, and that's fine, because it is a complete split. And that is the magic, then, of Blade Runner. You know, that's also the charm of it, that you can argue both sides. And, you know, that's Blade Runner. This new one doesn't have that. It doesn't have that moment where you're left. It also doesn't have the beauty I felt of the original film. The authenticity of Rutger Hauer's performance as well.
Yeah.
It felt like a studio film, but it was very slick. It's very high quality.
Nice.
The next thing that I watched, this is to take a small break from the Resident Evils, was American Vandal. Yeah. Now, in the last podcast, we had Andy on who introduced us to that show.
I was going to talk about it in a second.
Yeah, and I went to watch it, and I watched the first episode, and I was like, all right, I see how this works. And when the first episode finished, I was just like, who drew the dicks? I need to find out who drew the dicks.
Who drew the dicks?
Spoilers, you don't find out who drew the dicks.
It hints
well. It very, very much implies, but it ends the show with you still leaving the question, did she or didn't she? And it looks like it might get a second season.
Oh, that's good.
It doesn't need it.
No.
Because it was still just lightning in a bottle. They managed to take the formula and really work it. With the high school melodrama.
Yeah, and every end of the episode, it was like, oh wait, we found a new clue. Yeah. And you're like, God damn it,
changes everything.
But yeah, I just thoroughly enjoyed it. Although I watched the trailer and I thought, that looks really funny. And then I watched it. I was like, that was so good. And then I found out it wasn't real.
Right, yeah.
See, I hadn't heard from anyone like it was like
a mockumentary.
Right. I was thought, wow.
Well, I knew that going in, so yeah.
And then, because at the end, the main character does something at the end, and you're like, right. But then I found out it wasn't real. And I was like, oh. And it kind of took it away, but then I was like, it was still so good.
No.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Speaking of fun,
okay.
I was hoping it would be.
I like the way you said fun then.
Well, it's got happy in the title.
Right.
Happy Death Day.
Yeah. Is that out yet?
Yeah, it's just come out. It's from director Christopher Landon, who I checked to see what other films he had done, and the only one of real note was Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, which was really, really terrible.
I need to wiki that as well.
It stars Jessica Rose from La La Land.
Nice.
And the mask that the killer wears in the film was created by the same guy who made the mask for the Scream films.
Spoilers, there's a killer in this film.
Well, that's the whole premise of the film, is that it's her birthday and a killer kills her every day and she repeats the day.
It's a
Groundhog Day style.
It's a horror Groundhog Day and she has to work it out.
And it really does just follow the footsteps of Groundhog Day, from repeating that alarm clock wake up call, running into the same people in the same sequence of events every day. And the main character is a total bitch, just like Bill Murray's a total douche in Groundhog Day, and just like in Live, Die, Repeat or The Edge of Tomorrow, Tom Cruise is a total douchebag.
Yeah.
And by the end of the film, you kind of care for them, and they kind of grow to be better people after repeating the same thing over and over.
You don't feel like you've wasted an hour and a half.
Except I did, with Happy Death Day. It took the formula which worked so beautifully in Groundhog Day. I remember there was a film called 1201.
Yes, 1201's
which actually
amazing.
Had a scientific sort of device that was doing it, which explained that phenomenon. You know, Edge of Tomorrow had an alien species that was using it as a way of protecting itself.
Yeah.
You know, Groundhog Day didn't really need an explanation.
Phil.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, the groundhog.
The groundhog is the reason.
Well... Really?
Yeah. Every time he sees his shadow, Bill Murray gets stuck in a time loop. It's perfectly obvious.
Well,
right.
Well, no, I think the film Groundhog Day has sort of put that idea in people's head that, Groundhog Day means repeating days.
Why are
really
we
it
arguing
means how
this?
many
Groundhog
more
Day's
days of
amazing.
winter you got.
Groundhog Day is amazing.
So it needs no explanation. Bill Murray constantly is awesome.
So what song does she get woken up to?
Well, originally it was going to be a rap song about a birthday, but apparently they couldn't get the rights to it, so they just recorded their own. And it's really annoying.
Okay.
And I swear, in some sequences, she gets up and turns the alarm off, and then in some sequences, she just gets up and throws the phone. But on some sequences, the alarm just sort of cuts off at the same point it usually does when she turns it off, when she doesn't even touch the phone.
Right.
And I'm just like, what? There was just little things that I was picking up on that just annoyed me because I was not enjoying the time.
And yeah, I mean,
it was made on
the reason for her going back. I mean, not trying to obviously spoil it for people, but
what do you mean? What the?
Yeah, Groundhog Day had the Punxsutawney Phil.
There's no reason in this. There's no reason. She just does keep waking up with a bad hangover, and by the end of the day, she's murdered.
Right. Okay.
And so her aim then is basically to survive the day in order to get to the next day.
So you didn't enjoy it then?
I did not enjoy it. It was made, it was from Blumhouse Pictures. It was a budget of $5 million, but it's already easily surpassed its budget. So it's an immediate success. But the whole film just made me feel meh.
Yeah.
Watching her get stabbed or killed or maimed and then waking up and repeating it and explaining.
Not as good as Tom Cruise taking it.
Just absolutely not. It was just a shallow catch. And then the thing that also ticked me off at the very end was that her main sort of friend who kind of helps her out it just says to her, the experiences you've described sounds a lot like Groundhog Day. And she's like, what? And he's like, the film with Bill Murray. And she's like, I've never heard of it. And then the credits roll.
Oh, start very good.
And then I was just like, oh my god, just no. And she didn't even hear of Ghostbusters either. She didn't even know who Bill Murray was. I was just like, oh my god. So the film is directly acknowledging Groundhog Day, and the main character doesn't even
realise.
I should have got to the 20th death, and I was like, well, you fucking deserve to die, so we're going to end the film there.
I think she dies 8 times in the film, and they were supposed to be playing on the whole 9 lives of a cat thing.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're throwing ideas at the wall. See what sticks.
Yeah. So also in the cinema, I went and watched Geostorm. Now, I am a bit of a sucker.
Fucking hell, Gary. You really went out, didn't you?
Ever since watching Independence Day in the cinema, I enjoy the big budget special effects experience. Because it's, I know what I'm going into. Yep. And I sometimes just want to watch shit blow up good.
Right, okay.
That's why I like 2012. Me and my wife went to see that.
I watched it in the
on
cinema.
the big screen. The destruction. It's fun.
You two are a couple of bitches. You two are a couple of bitches. I sit here, week in, week out, podcast or whatever, listening to you two talk about what you really like. And you always diss my shit. Every time I say I want to watch a Transformers movie, every time I want to watch Hawaii Five-0, you guys are like, nah, that's shit. It's got no plot, no story.
I can imagine.
Then you go and watch fucking Geostorm in fucking 2012.
Well, I can imagine Ian reading it.
On Wikipedia.
Then this building fell down, and then this building fell down.
I walk into those films and really, really kind of do enjoy those films because, like you said, big budget explosions, just like Independence Day. 2012.
Day After Tomorrow.
2012 is with...
What was the other one?
San Andreas?
San Andreas, I even watched San Andreas.
Love the big explosions. And then you guys.
Yeah.
Why can't you love the big explosions that I love as well?
Because they have Shia LaBeouf in them. And he doesn't explode.
Right, but Geostorm.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. What's it like? I've been seeing the posters.
I didn't realise this, but it had a massively disrupted schedule. This film took 3 years to make.
Wow.
And that's because, it was supposed to have come out last January. Then it got pushed back to October. And then it got pushed back to this year, October.
Wow.
That's always the best sign.
They had to bring in another director to reshoot, I don't know, it must seem like half the film. The original director couldn't come back to reshoot those scenes because he was already on the next project. They spent another $15 million on all of the reshoots because they had to get all the cast back. Yeah. I believe they got Jerry Bruckheimer to executive produce all the new content that was being shot. The special effects in the film must have taken a long time.
Yeah.
They had to bring in another script writer to change the content that's in the film. Catherine Winnick was in the film, but they recast her and reshot all the scenes that her character was supposed to be.
Wow, really?
So a lot of trouble on the set. And I don't know if you know what the concept is for those that are listening. It's called Geostorm. And I wrote down here Gerald Butler in space.
Yeah, Gerald Butler in space.
And Gerald Butler is a scientist. You know, he's the world's smartest scientist who basically creates a weather station up in space that can
with his bare
hands. He built it himself. No. He goes to stress that it wasn't him. It was all of the countries in the world uniting to build this thing.
He sold his idea out. Yeah.
Well, no, he basically builds it, but the American government kind of owns it, and they're reluctant to give it to the rest of the world because it wants to show the American political government.
Let me just stop you there. So it fucks up, and Gerald Butler saves the world.
Well, basically, Gerald Butler gets fired. But from the station, and then obviously something goes wrong. This weather station can control the world's sort of problems with hurricanes, tornadoes, tsunamis. And it gets sabotaged. Something goes wrong. There's accidents happening on the station. So they ring him up. They're like, "You're the only person we know that can fix this."
It's a whole space station.
It's a massive space station with hundreds of crew members.
I thought it was just like one little satellite.
No, it is a massive thing. The sci-fi aspect I found interesting when it was there. There's like the entire Earth's got like a big protective net over it, where there's lots of different satellites for different things.
Yeah.
And but I found the acting in it to be okay. I actually thought that the little girl in the film was quite effective. You know, the whole "Oh, Daddy, please don't go" moments. You know, it was like in
you say the acting
Interstellar. You know, the whole daddy-daughter relationship thing.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Interstellar.
It borrows from everything: disaster movies, action movies. You know, and then
did you expect a political drama?
And then there's the whole presidential assassination subplot. Which is what I believe was chucked into the film, maybe as extra.
Who's the president? Is Gerald Butler the president?
No, Gerald Butler is younger. His younger brother is dating a Secret Service agent.
What?
And when they realise that the station has been basically sabotaged by a conspirator within the American government to assassinate the president and all of the people in the White House.
Is
so
the
that
president
he can be
on the space station?
No, he's not.
Right, okay.
And so it's basically Ed Wood.
Ed Wood.
Ed Wood.
Wood.
I've forgotten his name.
James Wood.
No, not James Wood.
Christopher Woodward.
No.
Woody?
Woody? Jed Wood.
He was in Westworld recently.
Westwood.
Narrows it down. Anthony Hopkins.
No.
Fucking James Marsden.
He was he played God in Truman Show.
Morgan Freeman.
Oh, Ed Harris.
Ed Harris, that's the one. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
no, wait.
Ed
I'm
Harris.
thinking of...
Oh my God, yeah. Sorry, I'm going to stop drinking now.
Why didn't you say Abyss, you numbnut?
Well, I was getting there.
So is this a sequel
and so he is basically trying to kill the president. Spoiler, sorry. So that he can basically take over the satellite, destroy like 99% of the Earth's population. Bastard. You know, and so that he can have his corner of the world.
So Gerald Butler has built this satellite. He's been fired. It's malfunctioned, but at the same time, Ed Harris is trying to use it to kill the president.
Yeah.
While
and all the other
malfunctioning.
Countries that America is at war with.
While it's malfunctioning.
No, he's the one reason why it's malfunctioning.
Should you just use the T-virus?
Yeah, I mean, it's over bloated, it's over the top.
It
but
sounds like a sequel to those White House films.
You know, I also it was the same day I watched Happy Death Day, and so actually I kind of enjoyed Geostorm a lot more than Happy Death Day. The special effects in the film were fantastic, but it's not a big feature of the film. You're looking at about 7 minutes of actual catastrophe-like stuff happening.
So how can you say it's fantastic just because a lot of things explode?
No, the special effects are fantastic. The rest of the film is generic trite. But if
I'm recommending it.
No, I recommend it. If you've got the money to spare and you like watching shit blow up good, you know the type of film it is. You know what you're paying to see. Yeah, that is it. Yeah, that's it.
See, this brings me back to my original point, because I saw the trailer for Geostorm and I was just like, I'm not fucking watching that. That looks stupid as hell.
Yeah, but if somebody gave you the Blu-ray and said, here, watch this of a free evening.
But the wife loves those films.
Disaster films.
Absolutely loves those films. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to see shit blow up. That's all right.
Yeah.
And Gerard Butler in space. I mean, does he go into space?
Yeah, of course.
So he dons like space.
Yeah, spacesuit. Yeah, and he
Nice.
has the whole gravity thing where he might float off into outer space forever.
Does he kick somebody like in 300?
No, he punches people though. Pretty good. You know, I was watching this and I was like, "Oh, this is the sequel to London Has Fallen."
Yes.
When this is
Yeah,
Earth has fallen.
Yeah. Man. So
Yes.
you go, Olympus has fallen, London has fallen,
And now Earth has fallen.
Earth has fallen.
Yeah, I was like,
Nice.
"What do they do next?" The universe has fallen.
Universe has
Send
fallen.
Joe Butler into
Jared
the outer
Butler's gotta
reaches.
Save the universe.
This is Space Station.
Space station.
So going to the other end of the spectrum of budget, I was really anticipating this film.
Okay.
I've enjoyed all the other films in the series to varying degrees.
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Cult of Chucky. By director Don Mancini, who of course has written all 7
Yeah.
entries in the Child's Play Chucky franchise. Bringing back Alex Vincent and Fiona Dourif and Brad Dourif to play Andy, Nika and Chucky respectively.
Yeah.
It's a continuation of the last film,
Nice.
where Nika is in an asylum and nobody believes her about Chucky and all of the murders,
Apart from Andy.
apart from Andy. But Andy doesn't connect with her, but he has his own subplot within the film. Of course, he knows she's telling the truth, but she doesn't know who he is.
I've already wiki
The
it.
whole plot basically revolves around Nika believing also that she is actually crazy and maybe she did commit the murder. She's been committed for so long in the asylum, she just doesn't really know.
That's what she's supposed to think. But
And then, of course,
Chucky returns.
Chuckies turn up at the asylum. Not one Chucky, not 2 Chuckies, 3
Plural.
Chuckies
Plural.
turn
yes.
up at the asylum. And not only do 3 Chuckies turn up at the asylum, but the severed head of Chucky from the previous movie
Yes.
that Andy blasted away,
Yes, with the, yeah.
Andy has been keeping in his basement in a box, basically, and every so often comes home, gets Chucky out, puts it on the side and talks with him.
Yeah.
Now, that
Yeah.
I absolutely loved.
Yes.
I just thought, what a great twist.
Man, when I wikied it and I read it all the way through, I was just like, that's amazing.
Yes, yeah,
That
just
is
the
amazing.
dialogue where
Because-
Chucky's just a severed head, he can't do nothing.
You know, spoilers ahead, you know, I was under the impression throughout the time of reading it, obviously not seeing it, but reading it, that it was just one Chucky. Then multiple started turning up, and the whole idea of him, I'm thinking he
got a new spell.
He got a new spell, so he can actually fracture his soul or
Into multiple
into
vessels.
multiple vessels, and it just works all the way to the point where the ending comes up, and you're actually quite shocked.
Well, it's definitely left wide open for another film, and I'm pretty sure they'll get another film. I mean, they've gone to a much lower budget. They're straight to DVD or straight to Netflix.
But it works
Films.
for a straight to DVD film.
For me, it was a generic horror film. It tried to be Child's Play and it tried to be Chucky. You know, it
Yeah.
played up the horror
Yeah.
and it had the comedy. But for me, it didn't have enough of Chucky laughing. I enjoyed a bit of the Chucky dialogue with Chucky.
Yeah.
You know, but there was so much of the film going to characters going, I don't believe in Chucky, this doll's not real. Oh my god, this doll is real, I believe you, and then that person's killed.
Does
and
Andy survive at the end?
Andy is left in a precarious situation by the end of the film. It's, you know, a lot of a lot of it's not resolved, but I will say, after 7 movies, Chucky, Charles Lee Ray, finally, spoilers, finally transfers his soul
Yes.
into another living body.
Finally.
7 films it's taken. So I'm kind of sad because at the same time I'm like, does that mean we're not going to have Brad Dourif's voice
No.
anymore?
No, because I've just had the best idea of the next Chucky movie.
Okay.
Right? So Andy survives, and he's hunting down the girl, okay, and trying to stop Chucky while
Mhm.
she's going around committing murders, and they come across a good guy factory. And
What?
his
They've stopped
plan-
making them.
And his plan, somehow there's a good guy factory, maybe all the ones that haven't been destroyed, they're all stored, and his plan is to just make an army of Chuckies.
Put his soul in all the bodies.
So Cult of Chucky to Army of Chucky.
Oh, God.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
So you basically want an army of Chuckies, like an army of Alices.
Oh my god, did you just hear that? Did you just
God.
feel that?
Why did you bring up Alice for?
There was one great line in Cult of Chucky that I really loved.
Yeah.
And that's when Chucky's walking around and he just says, this asylum's a fucking cuckoo's nest. And I was just like, oh yeah,
Nice.
you know, Brad Dourif, this is the first film I ever seen him in was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Yeah, just a great character, great actor.
Nice.
But I also, just to tell everyone now, if you do watch the films, to stick around after the credits because they got back another cameo. They brought back the actress who played Kyle from Child's Play 2.
Yes.
For a cameo post-credit sequence.
Yes.
So I'm like, well, I'm
that's why
guessing she's going to be back
it's
for the
coming
next
back.
film too.
Army of Chucky, you wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next Halloween.
Okay, I'm going to switch over to television.
Yes.
I've literally just binged watched this series and perhaps stayed up a lot later than I should have done. This series is Mindhunter. This is a Netflix original series.
Right.
It stars Jonathan Groff, Holt McCallany, and Anna Torf.
Okay.
Anna Torf, of course, you might recognise it from Fringe.
Eh.
Agent Dunham, main actress.
Didn't watch it.
The series is created by Joe Penhall, who was the writer for The Road, the film.
Nice.
And it's produced, and some of the episodes have been directed by David Fincher.
Right.
I have to say
okay.
that this is one of the best visually looking shows I've seen this year. The concept for the show is it's the late 1970s and it follows two FBI agents that are create their own subsection within the FBI looking at criminal psychology and behavioral science.
Right. Okay.
And it's basically when the FBI coined the term serial killer. It didn't exist at this point in time.
Yeah.
And they go around to different prisons and interview the most notorious serial killers
Yeah.
to get character profiles to try and predict future crimes and try and, prevent this sort of thing happening.
Yeah.
And it's all based on real cases
they're
and
real
real events.
yeah.
Names have just been changed.
Yeah.
But of course, this is David Fincher as well. His visual flair and his craft at storytelling. This feels like the honest-to-God sequel to Seven. That tone, that style, that darkness. Also, the interplay between the FBI agents and them sort of having to push themselves to go on the same psychological wavelength as the serial killers that they are interviewing.
Yeah.
And the uncomfortability of the FBI just not happy with their agents using profanity and going to the extremes that they are. Absolutely fascinating. 10 hours just zipped right past, and they've already greenlit season 2 before season 1 even appeared on Netflix. That's how confident they are in this show.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing, addictive, powerful drama.
So just them talking to serial killers.
Yes. But there's a lot more going on. You have, the drama of the characters outside of their normal lives and how their normal lives are then affected as their character changes whilst they continue down this dark hole, basically, of discovering what the human mind is capable of.
I kept getting confused because every time I saw the trailer pop up on my Facebook, I kept thinking it said Manhunter.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just kind of...
Yeah, I mean, it has that
my
total
mind,
thing.
Before my mind changed, and before I didn't even click on the video, I just thought they're making a Manhunter TV series, after the success of Hannibal.
Yeah.
They are now making... And obviously,
Totally, yeah.
I saw that it was Mindhunter instead, but I still kind of had that feeling, without even watching the video and hearing you talk about it, that it would be about FBI agents talking to serial killers and, pathwaying what it is to think like them as they go around and cause all these horrendous fucking acts.
Yes, yeah. And
shouldn't profile them. You should just stick bombs in their necks and send them out into the world.
Well, that's what some characters in the show also firmly believe. And so it's all the areas, all the grey areas, And it's fascinating watching. Also, the attention to detail with the fact that it is a historical piece.
Yeah, it's a historical show as well. Yeah.
And it is so beautiful to look at. I also thought that the music was incredible. There's there was one sequence towards one of the later episodes in the season that I just thought the use of the music was so good. They were going down like a rickety elevator.
Okay.
And the noise of the metal and everything else, the noise that it was making, the music was following that noise of the elevator into the soundtrack. And it was like the elevator was making the music. It was just fantastic. I also found out reading afterwards that they tried to change and blend up the music for each of the serial killers, so each of the criminals that they investigate.
Yeah.
The music's different.
Yeah.
Because it tries to emulate their personalities. It's just so multi-layered. I can't praise it enough. One of the best shows I've seen this year.
He loves it, ladies and gentlemen. He loves it.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So Ian, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Well, I finally finished The Walking Dead.
Nice.
I finished,
Season 7, wasn't it?
Yeah, I finished the second half of season 7, and the crazy thing was, halfway through, I realised how long it had been since Abraham and Glenn had been killed.
Yeah.
For me,
it's been over a year now.
It'd been a long time,
it's been a year
and I was
now.
just like, shit, this show's been going on for so long, and it's still keeping my interest.
Yeah.
I was trying to talk to people in my work about it, but they were like, "Oh yeah, I just got bored. I kind of stopped here and I stopped there, and it gets samey." And I'm stood there and I'm like, "No, it doesn't. Each character is such an individual, and each one of them has their own little pathway. And yeah, you can get behind Rick and Carl as much as you want, but that final sequence with Sasha,
I know.
that episode was beautiful. That went out there with the flowers episode.
Yeah.
When a main character dies, I thought back to all the other ones that we'd lost over the course of the 7 seasons, and now we're going into season 8. It's going to kick off. I kind of know where it's all going to go.
Me too. I'm up to date with the comics or the graphic novel, whichever.
Really looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
One part that blew me away was the spoilers ahead for anybody who hasn't seen season 7 of Walking Dead, was the trash people turning on the survivors, right? And you had that fight between Michonne and the other one.
Yeah.
Michonne got her fucking ass handed to her.
Yeah.
She still prevailed, but seeing her sat up against that wall all bruised up, I was just like, she's let herself go. That wouldn't have happened
when they were on the edge.
Season 3, season 4, she's going to realise that she's kind of relaxed a little bit too much, and she has to not only protect Rick and Carl, but she has to protect herself. When she thought she saw Rick die, that was it. She just dropped her sword, didn't she?
Yeah.
She was ready to just give up.
Yeah.
And
that's just one character, and there's so many interesting characters on that show.
Yeah, it's just going to come to a head.
I've said this since season 2 to everybody. Binge watch Walking Dead. Don't do it weekly. It's not enough to watch it weekly.
No, it is. It is. I watched it weekly, and it keeps me on edge. That's what I would say to people. Just stick with it. You're either going to watch it all, or you're going to watch none of it. Don't try and dip in and dip out, because that will confuse you what's going on.
I consider watching it weekly, dipping in and dipping out.
I consider that my benchmark. That's my reward for surviving a Monday. Monday at work is to sit down and watch people, drive down a freeway in 2 cars with a long piece of wire and just decapitate zombies all over it. That was awesome. Negan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I have to praise Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. He's one of my favourite villains on TV.
Rapey Davey was one of the funniest sequences in the whole of Walking Dead, because when that guy's there and he's begging Negan, for his life, and Negan just goes, "I don't accept your apology," and stabs him in the neck.
Yeah,
and then just turns to Sasha and he's just like, "Yeah, here's the knife." It gives her all her options of what she could do.
Yeah,
and couldn't explain it better.
Yeah,
that look.
I'm not a sick person.
I'm not a sick person.
I'm doing this for the betterment.
Yeah.
It's his own villainy. It's his own. He's so believing in what he's doing.
He knows he's the bad guy, but he easily knows that he's the bad guy, and that's what he's got to do.
Yeah.
For them to survive. Rick, on the other hand, obviously, Rick knows he has to do bad things.
He's the other face of the coin, of the same coin.
Yeah, of the same coin, because he knows that they will have to kill people, but they're not wanting to do it on a daily basis. They want to obviously, try to work together.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't work all the time, and then it turns into a big battle sequence, and people turn into zombies, and there's gunfire. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
South Park has just recently restarted as well. First episode I didn't really like. I I felt like there was a joke going on, and I didn't.
Which
I didn't
one was
know about
that
it.
one?
That was the
doing your house up.
Yeah, that was the white people renovating homes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that felt like it was a joke from yesteryear, because those were TV daytime
that was it.
shows.
You know, it was funny when Randy was smashing things up, and it was funny when the rednecks were becoming the new Amazon Echo.
Mm.
But like I said, I was just sat there just like, I'm not getting it. I'm enjoying myself because it's South Park and I've missed it, but I'm not getting what it is.
Mm.
Every episode after that was just awesome.
The was it the texting driving episode?
Oh God!
Damn!
Oh God!
Damn!
That was harsh to through. Have you?
I couldn't believe that they so quickly got in a joke about Miramax's fired chief. What was he called? Bob Weinstein?
Harvey
Weinstein.
Weinstein. Yeah, they got that in really
quick. I was just like, God damn you, South Park! You are
on the ball. The most recent one with Stan's granddad in the old people's home.
I haven't seen that one
that
yet.
was funny.
I think the last one I watched was the last one where they were the superheroes.
Yeah.
Yes, the prequel to Fractured Butthole.
Yes,
I think it is,
yeah.
Which coincided with the release of the game, and
yeah,
very much looking forward to playing the game at some point.
As it is your birthday, Ian, I can tell you now, happy birthday, Ian. I've brought you Fractured Butthole for your birthday.
Yay!
I just don't have it here yet.
Yeah, I know. It's all good, but the game just looks fun. You know, it's just a throw down to South Park. I really loved the original one, Stick of Truth.
Definitely, yeah.
It
wasn't enough for me to play it a second time.
I would have, but there was a lot of just collectibles, and I couldn't really be bothered. I'd been collecting a lot of the Ching Pokemon anyway, all the way through, and wasn't really bothered by it. But even the censored bits, you know, that made me.
That
laugh.
was still funny, yeah. Because the description tells you what you would have been seeing, and your mind just paints it for you.
The fight on your mum and dad's bed.
Oh God!
When they were having sex, that was fucking mind blowing. You know, Man Bear Pig constantly turning up. So this new one, I think the replayability comes from being able to do different things with your character
and have different sort of companions. Yeah.
Because they had the pathway as well in the first one, but you could just save it then and go both ways if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Wrestling recently.
Yeah.
Oh man, the Shield have reunited.
Who are they?
The fuck cares?
The Shield, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. They originally came out.
So Roman Reigns can't continue his solo thing anymore. They've had to give him a group.
Well, their group came into WWE years ago, coming from NXT, and the Shield worked for what they did. But I felt once they disbanded them, they rushed Roman Reigns too quickly. And then they gave the title to all three of them. All three of them are past champions. All of them have been tag team champions at some point. And I'm looking at their group and I'm like, okay, Nation of Domination, D-Generation X, NWO, this is what they are. And we are just waiting for the title to come along and betray, and one of them to betray the others and cause a rift and blah, blah, blah. They need to get the title off of Brock Lesnar. I'm kind of bored with that now. I like Brock Lesnar, don't get me wrong, he's the beast, but he turns up every now and again. I mean, the WWE have got...
and beats whoever else is getting a push.
Well, this is it. I mean, the Royal Rumble's coming up.
Yes, yeah. I usually like to tune in for that.
Yeah, and then and WrestleMania after that. But I don't feel Brock Lesnar's held the title as a competent champion for so long that match is going to be that good.
So why is he not there?
Because they've decided that it's better to have the champion not there. If he didn't have the belt, we wouldn't care. Because he's got the belt, you know, he turns up every now and again to challenges. I think he's being challenged by Jinder Mahal at the Survivor Series.
I don't even know who that is.
Jinder Mahal's
I only have a passing, fleeting interest.
Yeah, Jinder Mahal is the new SmackDown champion, and
it's not new. He's been in it for a few months now.
Yeah, because they were doing the tour in India. Let's not beat around the bush here. The WWE were doing a tour in India, and obviously it worked for the company. Best for business, shall we say, to have an Indian championship who's actually from Canada, I believe it is.
What?
Yeah, he's just playing this character, but they've challenged each other at Survivor Series. So unless creative can come up with a really awesome story to cover both Brock Lesnar and Jinder Mahal with their championships going into the Royal Rumble, it's going to be a turbulent year next year, I think. But still, we got TLC coming up, so tables, ladders, and chairs.
It's just been changed, hasn't it?
What has been changed?
I think
Is the tag match?
someone Bray Wyatt has gone out of action. He's like really ill, so
He was supposed to be facing Finn Balor.
yeah, I think it might be AJ Styles now, and Kurt Angle is taking over Roman Reigns.
Really?
Yeah, because Roman Reigns apparently injured. It was like announced earlier today, I think.
Wow. And obviously, by the time of this recording, we are recording the night before
Oh, yeah.
TLC. So, the Shield was supposed to be fighting tomorrow.
But I can't stand Roman Reigns and his lame ass Superman punch. So
Well, but there's nobody else out there, to do the John Cena that he needs to do.
oh yeah, the John Cena whose AA is completely useless now because Roman Reigns can kick out of like 3 or 4 of them.
Because Roman Reigns is like a 250 power level, and
you could just
Cena's just
do a wet slap or a freaking Superman punch on anyone. Everybody's got a freaking kowtow to.
Oh god, yeah, and then,
pathetic.
but you would complain if he had a chokeslam or DDT or any finisher. You would still complain
If he did one new move, I'd be very impressed.
He doesn't need to do new movies.
Yeah, I know, he's got 3.
4.
And he does them all in
Look, this
succession
argument
every
ends
time.
because we know that most wrestlers have about 3 moves.
They have 2
2
an
signatures
aura
and a
or
finisher.
a freaking character to go with it. He doesn't.
You're preaching to the converted. Reigns destroyed fucking Taker at WrestleMania, didn't he? And took back his yard. So I'm not defending the guy, but at the same time, it's just funny.
Let's end it.
Okay. Staying on the track of television, just started watching American Horror Story Cult.
The new
I
American
think
Horror
this is
Story.
the 7th series now.
Yeah.
And I have to say, this happened with the last couple of seasons.
Man, I'm just going to bring this up. Your cat. What is your cat doing?
I think my
Using
cat
the
is...
litter trainer.
We got neighbours, we got storms, we got cats going on. It's a really
disruptive environment. I'm sorry, everyone
we're
listening.
letting everybody into our world. This is what we work with.
It's slowly seeping
Yeah,
into
we
the audio.
never say about, what are you doing over there? Come on, go to bed. Thank you very much. American
Cat's been
Horror
sleeping
Story.
all day and it's finally come up now that his voices.
Yeah, American Horror Story.
So like with the last few seasons of American Horror Story, the first episode's just not caught me. It's just not kept my attention. I watched the first episode and I was just like, this is tired already. But then I stopped watching and I went and watched some other stuff and then I was like, I've got nothing to watch. It's usually good. It's October. It's Halloween season.
Yeah.
I'll keep watching. I'll see what happens. I'm waiting religiously now. I'm refreshing like the page. Like, when's the next air date? When's the next episode?
Is there only 1 episode at the moment?
No, there's been like 7 episodes now.
Oh, okay.
And it is fantastic. It's so good. The acting is always very good. I'm a little bit sad that a lot of the actors from the previous seasons have, retired or have left the show.
Yeah.
But it still has some of the main core actors, which are still just delivering great performances.
Is Lady Gaga still in it?
No.
Kathy Bates still in it?
No. She, some of them only have like 1 episode cameo parts.
Yeah.
Some actors that have been in previous seasons have turned up and died within the same episode.
Are
So
they
it's
still
like,
interconnecting it?
every season is connected to the other in some way, although it's not always obvious what the connections are. It's all in the same universe, all in the same timeline.
Yeah, you've always gone on about it, which always makes me laugh because it's like your Hawaii 5-0.
Well,
your American Horror Story is your Hawaii 5-0.
Well, it's a different story every year, and it covers a different... It seems like it's covering the 9 circles of hell, and this latest one, The Cult, is basically all about rage.
Ah, nice.
And you can also then go back and look at all the other seasons and see Greed and
Lust.
And obviously Hotel was Lust, and there's lots of other ones. And so, it looks like we'll probably get 9 seasons, and then I think it will be done. It's a fascinating watch. It's good horror for TV at the moment.
Nice.
Staying with the theme of horror, The Strain, Season 4, the final series of The Strain, is just completed a couple of months ago.
Wow.
I was waiting for it all to finish and then binge-watched the lot.
Yeah.
And, I loved the first sort of 3 episodes of Season 1. It kind of lost its way a little bit. It deviated from the books quite a lot. But it still retained my interest. It's Del Toro. I liked the world. I liked the I liked watching the vampire apocalypse from its beginning to go before it went worldwide right into vampire nuclear apocalyptic wasteland where, you know, after all the nuclear fallout, it's blotted out the sun. So vampires can walk around during the day and humans are pretty much in slave labor camps and food banks.
Wow, I thought they were still at the airport.
No, that was the first season.
Yeah.
So it does cover a good breadth of time.
Yeah.
And you watch civilization unfolding due to the individual greed of each of the characters that are in this universe, down to the point where they do find the resolution in the end, but at what cost?
Yeah.
And so what few characters make it to the end, you know, when they cut to the end of the season and it's all over, you're just like, wow, that was one epic trip, and you kind of miss the characters. You even miss the villains when they get killed off during the show, because it's like, damn, that was such a good bad guy. It's a shame that that's over now.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a great character, a vampire hunter who's a half-breed who's been hunting the master for 1,000 years. And I love the episodes where it goes back in time and you see him like in the gladiatorial arena as a gladiator having to fight. It cuts to him in like the 18th century England and just him trying to fight and find the master then. You know, those are some of the best bits. Also, when they did flashbacks to World War II and the Nazi concentration camps, and it's where you really get the origin for some of these characters that are still fighting at current time, present day. It was a great season. It has lots of ups and downs, and I will say the child actor in the series was awful from start to finish, even after they replaced that actor. That part was just maybe unwritable. It's just so frustrating, so annoying. And the last thing that I've watched a lot of
You've watched
stuff.
a lot.
Yeah, Star Trek Discovery. You know, we've been asked a few times to comment about it. I really enjoyed the pilot episode.
Yeah.
It felt refreshing. It was new Star Trek. It was Star Trek for a new age of television. It's Star Trek that's not episode by episode. Each episode connects, characters evolve and change.
Okay.
Although in the most recent episode that I watched, it immediately took me back when a character said shit. And I was like, whoa, what? Somebody said shit. And then within the same episode, about 10 minutes later, somebody in Star Trek went, that's fucking awesome.
Wow.
And then the character next to him went, yeah, that is fucking awesome. And I'm like, characters in Star Trek are saying fucking. Like, this is, in one episode I've had shit and 2 fucks. Like, is this still Star Trek? But then I'm like, well, it's 10 years before Kirk and many years before the Picard era. You know, maybe, you know, the Federation sort of tightened up on, you know, the words they were allowed to use whilst they're in the Federation.
Star Trek saying fucking.
Yeah, it was refreshing and jolting at the same time.
Didn't Chris Pine say shit in one of the movies?
Probably.
Possibly.
I can't quite remember.
But he definitely didn't say fucking.
No, definitely not. So it's very different.
Beam me fucking up now! Fucking
Get me the fuck out of here!
The fucking Klingons are coming! Shit!
But yeah, the episodes, they introduced a character, Mud, that was obviously from the original series. It was great to see that character turn up.
Harry Mudd, yeah.
Great actor playing the part. Also, I just love Jason Isaacs as the captain, you know, with the dark past.
Yeah.
Federation don't really trust him, but he has this control during a time of war to do what he sees best for the Federation, and all of the interplay between the characters. The fact that they are killing off main characters as the show goes on is so unlike Star Trek as well.
Which is what we said they had to do. They had to take it the route of Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, where no character is really safe, you know, it's violent times and characters die and characters get brought in.
There's going to be a point where Isaacs dies, I bet.
Maybe not.
Well, he's the captain, obviously.
Well, they killed the captain off in the first 2 episodes.
Oh,
so...
and he took over?
Yes. So I don't know if they'll kill off another captain so quickly.
They won't, because obviously he's taking
a captain's died, lots of crew members have died, the first officers died, you know, so it's interesting. Nice. I do like it. I like the way it's unfolding. So I've not left very much time for film news, so I'm going to quickly cram this in as quickly as possible. But I kind of thought it was interesting and worth commenting on that with Thor Ragnarok, by the time this podcast goes out, that film will have been out.
Yes. And
a lot of people are asking, when's the next Hulk solo movie? Why hasn't Marvel made Mark Ruffalo Hulk movie? And I finally found out the answer why.
Why?
Do you want to care to guess why?
because they were busy doing loads of other stuff?
No. You mentioned them earlier. I mentioned them earlier.
Okay.
But you know how Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man? And kind of Universal Studios owns the rights to the Hulk.
Oh my fucking
So
Lord.
Marvel are not allowed to make Hulk solo movies. They're only allowed to put Hulk in crossover movies.
Yes,
and Universal
like
Studios are just going, we hold the rights indefinitely.
Yeah. And
we're not selling you the rights, but we're also not going to make any Hulk solo movies because we don't want to interfere with your Marvel Cinematic Universe. So no, it doesn't look like there's going to be any Hulk solo movies in the future at all.
Yeah, well,
they could all.
They had to sell the rights years ago, and these characters have to come back. Universal might make a good Mark Ruffalo movie.
Well, they've given him dialogue and they've given him more scenes in the new Thor movie, so yeah, I guess that's the most we're going to get from Hulk, though, is as long as he's paired up with other superheroes in that universe.
Oh well, once they lose the money on the next movie, with the Hulk, they'll be happy to sell him off. Much like Sony did.
They
with
might
Spider-Man.
do a deal, but I don't know. I think Universal's financially more secure than Sony's
that's
film department.
That's the thing. Universal don't need to make a Hulk movie yet. They can.
Yeah.
They can wait a little while, and it will probably be big. Edward Norton wasn't too bad.
I quite like that.
Yeah, and I like Eric Bana's Hulk. Mark Ruffalo plays a really good Hulk. All I want to see is a 8-foot green muscle man smashing the shit out of shit.
Well, we get that in Thor Ragnarok, so yeah. The next story I had was the Andy Kaufman story. Just to confirm that it's actually out on Netflix on the 17th of November.
Yeah,
not long.
So yeah, not long at all. Probably a week, 2 weeks after this podcast goes up.
Yeah.
The next story, we mentioned The Walking Dead, but news has been confirmed that The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead will have a crossover coming soon. It's been confirmed that only one character will cross over, and I'm guessing it'll be a character from Fear the Walking Dead turning up in The Walking Dead and not the other way around.
Yeah. Unless
there was a character from The Walking Dead that got written out but didn't die, could end up on Fear the Walking Dead. I don't know. Rumor has it that Madison from Fear the Walking Dead will be the leader of the Whisperers in The Walking Dead.
They're bringing the Whisperers in.
Well, it's going to get there eventually, and so maybe that's the fan theory. There's no confirmation about it. I think it would be a neat idea. I mean, there's other fan theories saying that Madison is actually Rick's lost sister. I think that's way over the top, but. We'll see. We'll see. I think it's a crossover that people have been wanting. I think it might. It looks like a decision the studio's making to try and help the popularity of Fear the Walking Dead, because I've heard that it had dropped, even though season 3 for me was in some ways better than it had better individual episodes than season 7's The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And it really elevated that show. Last bit of film news. We've got a release date for Terminator 3. It's set for the 26th of July, 2019.
Terminator 3?
Yeah, Terminator 3. Because James Cameron has said that all those other films are just a bad dream. It's just a fever dream. They did not happen. It's an alternate timeline.
What?
So it will be Terminator 3.
Okay.
Which will then lead into Terminator 4 and 5. Which they will then end James Cameron trilogy. What? Yeah. Until somebody 20 years from then reboots Terminator all over again.
Yeah, you'll have to buy like 2 box sets for all the
Yeah, it's like, which Terminator timeline do you want to watch?
Yeah.
Let's watch this one, right?
Please don't sell your rights to Universal.
Some will get very dusty in that box set.
And very quickly, we're going to talk about some film trailers. Star Wars The Last Jedi. Episode 8, Star Wars, is out 15th of December. The trailers everywhere, the queues for the tickets, the film's selling out everywhere. Even though Hollywood has said that this film probably won't be as big a draw as the last film, I think they're wrong. I think this film's going to do amazingly well.
It's the empire of this saga.
I can't help but feel when I saw the trailer, though, the minute I saw the trailer, I was just like, this is a remake of The Empire Strikes Back. Even though they've said that it's not going to be,
No,
I can
it's not,
already
it's not
see
going
it.
to be, but it's going to play along tonally.
Absolutely.
So that at the end,
you know,
you're
the
like,
new Jedi
"Oh, I
has
want
to
a
be
third!"
trained just
And
like
yeah,
Yoda
yeah,
and Luke.
yeah.
The Empire's going to have a much stronger hand. They're going to be blowing up the Rebel Alliance all
Kylo
over the
Ren's
place.
Gonna be the new
Kylo
Darth
Ren's
Vader,
going to be trying to
kicking ass
convince
all over the
Rey to
place.
join the dark side.
I mean, I got teary-eyed when I saw Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, I think Carrie.
teary-eyed.
Is it going to be bad if they kill Princess Leia in this film? I think Kylo Ren's going to kill Princess Leia in the film.
Easy. That's what the trailer told us.
Yeah, that's what it. Yeah, but
That's
whether
what the
that
trailer
actually
told us.
plays out in the film,
Yes, if it plays.
the
out.
trailer suggests it, but you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And excuse me, last trailer, Annihilation by director Alex Garland. You know,
Yeah.
looking at Dread, 28 Days Later, Sunshine, Ex Machina. This film's out February 2018. Looks visually arresting, interesting sci-fi. Don't really know what the film's going to be about. But
I've wikied it,
Oh.
and it's based on a book actually, guys.
Yeah.
And I've read the plot of the book. Mind blowing.
yeah,
It made me think very heavily of Stalker. I haven't seen it. It's a 1974 Russian black and white movie. I think.
okay.
Oh, but basically, Natalie Portman goes into this alien world to study it and find out what happened to her husband, who was part of an expedition
To
that
go
had already,
into.
that had already gone into it. And yeah, it's if you like those mindfuck universes, it's going to be up there for you.
Definitely. It was one of those trailers that got me excited. I was like, this is a competent writer, director, cast, visually interesting. Definitely one to check out.
He's not let
next
us
year.
down yet.
He's
it's
not let us down yet.
And
no.
it's Natalie Portman as well.
Yeah,
Natalie
yeah.
Portman's
She
amazing.
looks badass as
Yeah.
well. Yeah. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of the first part of the podcast. We'll be back with part 2 momentarily. Which brings us on to part 2 of the podcast, which
Yes.
is, Ian, it's for you to hijack and talk about whatever it is you actually want to talk about.
You know, this is so refreshing to have like an hour to just be myself
Yeah.
on the podcast.
But Ian, you are always yourself.
Yeah.
I try to be
It's
myself
persona.
whenever I can, but you're restricted in this world, in this.
Why are you
Social
restricting him,
circle.
Gary?
I'm not
You know,
restricting him.
You're absolutely restricted everywhere you turn. I mean, I'm 35 years old now.
I secretly started off the shelf reviews all those years ago just so I could put a camera on Ian so that the whole world could just see that such a creature exists.
Thank you. Thank you.
slash
Such
suffer.
such a creature could exist. And this creature...
Ian doesn't consider himself a human, by the way.
No. That went a few years ago.
that had to go out a few years ago. I realised I was a god. It's just my way. You know, I created life. I had a son. And, you know,
So that...
it's also, right, Ghostbusters.
What?
In Ghostbusters, Ray, if you're asked, are you a god? You say, yes. And from then on, I was just like, yeah, there's my backup.
Who asked you?
Anytime an infinitely speaking being could step through another dimension and just step into
dear.
our world and be like, Ian, are you a god? And I could be like, yeah. Oh, okay then. And I could save the world. You never know. That's how my mind works. It's like a caged animal waiting to release, and everywhere it goes, it's just the wrong path. The world is just so strange out there, man. You know, I've known you guys for how many years?
It's nearly 17 years, I think.
17 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I say I am crazy, but the world out there is pretty crazy, right? It's not just me.
Yeah. There's no rock left that hasn't been unturned yet, I don't think.
Dave?
Maybe down in the depths of the ocean, if James Cameron hasn't got there yet.
Well,
I'm pretty sure he's left a James Cameron-sized flag, you know.
yeah. I mean, we live on a world where the oceans are so deep, the mountains are so high. How do we get through these days? I'm recording a podcast now with you guys. This is going to go out onto the internet. There are going to be hundreds of people listening to it.
Yeah,
this is getting very philosophical.
But the way it could just explode overnight. People are always saying to us, really hope that Off the Shelf Reviews does really well. And I'm always just like, yeah, but it just means more work.
Well, yeah, but it's good work. I've only occasionally seen Off the Shelf Reviews as work. And it's when we get into the October season, during the summer, when
every
we're
October
for that October rush of content, which I love doing. But that is when I'm like, right, now it feels like work, because that's when you need to structure and organise days for filming and editing and everything else.
That's it. We create Off the Shelf Reviews, and we've always been talking about films. Always been talking about films. That's how we met. In that club.
Yeah.
Years and years ago, people were just like, "Oh, this is Gary. This is Ian. This is Gary." We started talking about our favourite films, and then years later, we're sat here recording them, sticking them up on the internet.
Yeah. We're a bit late to that.
You are my Danny Williams.
Huh?
Hawaii 5-0.
Oh, no.
Hawaii 5-0, okay? Now I've got this for an hour. Hawaii 5-0, right? In every episode, whenever you've got a crime scene to get to, or they've got to get back to the HQ,
right?
Danny and Steve always drive back in this badass Dodge Viper black American muscle car.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Cool.
Right?
Yeah.
It's Danny's car. Danny is played by Scott Caan.
Okay.
Right? It's Danny's car. But Steve always drives. And Danny always complains.
Yeah.
And they will sit there and they will have a segment during the episode where they will just talk about something, either the case or something going on outside, or family issues, and they argue and bicker.
Mm-hmm.
And I realise you're the Danny of this relationship. I'm the Steve.
What, the one who complains all the time?
Yeah, I'm the Steve McGarrett. I'm the US Navy SEAL. I'm the loose
and I'm
cannon.
The chauffeur.
No, because I'm always in.
Because you got the car, but you don't drive.
Right.
I'm always in the driver's seat, but when I want to go, when I want to go headlong into doing something really crazy, especially on Off the Shelf, doing something, doing
and
a
then I have
film.
to go, no, Ian, wait, did you really think about that?
Exactly. Just like Danny, you'll be like, wait, whoa. Hang on a minute. Let's talk about this. And I'm like, no, I don't want to talk about this.
Well, this is usually something that I would have done for this segment of the podcast, because this is the first segment of a podcast that I've been involved in where I've just left a big blank space on my notes, just going, Ian's hijacked this section.
Wait, didn't we do that last podcast as well?
Yeah, but then I just kind of railed that into,
into
horror
Halloween.
movies. Yeah.
But that's the thing. I'm always saying to people, you've just got to go loose cannon. I mean, like right now, there's a cat in a cat litter tray, and I'm going off topic now, but I think that cat's taking a dump. It's on a recorded podcast. This is the world that I'm in.
Yeah, well, we don't have the money to rent a studio space yet.
That's
so
expensive.
Yeah.
We've looked at studio locations, and the money you'd need is crazy. I'm responsible with my money. But responsible keeps the roof over my head. Responsible keeps food in my wife and son's belly. And I've got to be responsible. I know I could get 3 or 4 different credit cards and... Yeah, you covering yourself there? Thanks. Yeah, sorry, the cat's just finishing off. I know I could get like 3 or 4 different credit cards, but come on. I'm not that stupid. I haven't got that kind of money to be able to cover myself. So I've got to be responsible.
Yeah.
It sucks. It really sucks.
Well, we've all got to be responsible in some way.
That's the world that we live in, though. We wake up, we go to work, we make money to pay the rent, to feed ourselves, to go to sleep, to wake up and do it all over again. What kind of world is that?
Capitalist.
See, nobody can explain it to me. All the people on the internet now are like, what's he rambling on about? I'm rambling about day to day.
Yeah.
The world that we live in, it's mind blowing.
So what would you do to change it, Ian?
Yeah.
You really can't. That's
okay.
That's
Well,
the,
if you were given your godly powers back, Would you still say you can't?
Oh no,
Okay.
I'd be blowing brains up all over the place.
But what?
I was
Oh,
going to
mate.
blow something else.
Do you know that's the thing? I've figured it out. Power ultimately corrupts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then there is no way around it. There is literally, if like you just said, if you had all your godly powers, what would you do? Nothing. Everything. So I got all my godly powers.
And somewhere in between.
I get all my godly powers. I can't judge people, really. They're going about their day to day. They're doing their thing. So just let that man do what he's doing, and let that woman do what she's doing, and let that happen over there, and do nothing or do everything. Actually, mate, you're not doing that. Bang, your head's exploded. Really? You're gonna die? Nope. Brought back to life. There you go. Another 700 years on your belt.
Ian, where did you learn about the outside world?
The outside world just happens.
Did you Wikipedia the outside world?
I do. I do Wikipedia.
Do you Wikipedia the news?
As far as I've gone in my life, I've gone as far as Hasselt in Belgium. I never really want to travel. Don't get me wrong, I know the world's a very beautiful place. I could happily go and see the Taj Mahal, stand in some hot Indian country, while somebody takes my picture, and I'm dying.
You're dying?
I'm dying of the heat, because obviously I was born a redhead, so every time the sun comes up, which is like every day, I practically burn on the outside. Anything over 30 degrees in the shade, and literally you're just going to have to take me indoors and shoot me, because I'll be sweating like a bastard. Sorry, swearing. That's the world we live in. Oh, it blows my mind.
So I'm just trying to figure out what films you watched at the young age that changed you and gave you this perspective on the
John
world.
Carpenter movies.
John Carpenter shaped you.
When I saw Escape from New York for the first time.
And Ian believed that was the real world.
Well, it said it was 1997.
Yeah. That was the future.
And I was watching it in, I think, 89, 90.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that badass with the eye patch on. I really hope he survives. You know?
You come Wikipedia to see if this was real or not.
There was no internet.
You didn't need Wikipedia back then.
You had 4
the
channels.
back of the box.
Well, no, you had BBC Two.
All right.
That's the first time. You know, I didn't have a video player when I was younger. You know, family was. We were so poor, we couldn't afford poor stuff. You got hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
And nobody had got a video player yet. The internet hadn't been made. You know, you're talking about old school TVs, the click-on ones.
Yeah, where you had to turn the dial.
And
I remember having a TV which you had to insert 50 pences into.
Yes, I had the
Meter
very
TV.
same TV,
Yeah.
a meter TV, which if you could break with a screwdriver, you just slid pound coins in.
Yeah.
And it just added up hours.
Yeah.
That's how poor. That's how poor we were, or
Yeah.
I was. You know, Gary lived on the good side of Plymouth. You know, the Beverly Hills of
the Southwest.
Of the Southwest.
So whereabouts in Plymouth?
St. Budo.
Oh, yeah.
see, I just have to say it, and people are like that's.
See, I was Wolsey Road, which is like just along the road past the cut-off point.
You're on the outskirts.
Yeah.
It's on the outskirts.
And we were told never go that place over the hill.
See, no, where I grew up, it was bad, but then films opened my eyes up to worse stuff, and it kind of, weirdly enough, desensitized me to what was going on outside my own front door, and made me want to stay in and concentrate more on film. But then you're going to school, and the school I went to wasn't exactly known for its graduating roles. You know, you were lucky if you survived past year 9, which was about 12, 13 years old, and just flunked out, you know, went and got a job in the local dockyard. That's why we're all radioactive down here, because of the nuclear submarines. Fucking... And I go into school and I'm just like, oh yeah, I want to do drama. Why? Because I want to be an actor. Oh, it's not going to make you money. Have you seen who's out there? And I'm just like, well, still there.
Is that an insult to who's out there or you?
This is obviously the teaching staff. They're just like
no, just give up now.
Yeah, just give up. Just give up now. You know, and I wanted to be a
teachers
games
have given
tester.
up.
Games had just started to be developed. You know, if you got into the tech class quick enough, you could get a computer and play Lemmings.
That's the yeah.
That was how poor we were in that school. Lemmings was like the shit. You know,
one computer for the whole school.
And people kept telling me, "No, you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be an actor. Can't work in drama. Can't study games and stuff like that." So I didn't. I went and got a job and became a cleaner, and still am a cleaner. But I'm a contented cleaner. Scarily.
Yeah.
Well, it pays the bills. You know, you have to have a routine, get up, go, pay the bill, earn the money, come home, pay the bills. I can never understand how people like to go for, like, freelance.
I went freelance for quite a while.
How do people survive on it? You know, you've really got to fucking...
You've got to put yourself out there.
You've really got to put yourself out there. And I think I remember seeing El Salvador at one point with James Woods as a freelance photographer.
Yeah, that's what I was doing,
Cambodia.
Yeah. I wasn't in Cambodia, though.
But still, I think movies influenced my way of life to just not put my head out there. Because there's a lot of bad shit out there. Definitely the Final Destination movies.
What?
The Final Destination movies really...
That's what stopped you from seeing the world?
No. I purposely stopped myself seeing the world.
You're afraid you're going to run into Tony Todd?
Because of the world out there. You know, the world... Obviously, the world only, survives while I exist. You know, obviously, if I cease to exist, the rest of you would all cease to exist as well, which is a shame. So I could go anywhere and be anywhere at any one time, but I just don't want to. But it's still dangerous out there. That's my point.
Now, I've always seen that the people in Plymouth, a lot of people seem to just be under, like, you remember Stephen King's dome?
Yes.
It kind of feels like a lot of people in this city are in that dome and just don't even go outside of it.
It's like,
Exeter is just like a million miles away. Like London is like on another continent.
When the train fare is like £300 to get to London, it might as well be.
Yeah, I can see that point.
It always freaks me out when it's misty on like the main A38, which is the main dual carriageway out Plymouth.
Yeah.
If it's misty and you're driving to Exeter, it's like a loading screen. You're going from one area to another.
It's like Silent Hill.
Yes, it's like
you can't see 10 feet in front of you, and it's just the same endless road.
It's weird living. I'd say compared to the rest of the world, Plymouth is a quiet town.
Yeah.
A very quiet town. You know, I've lived here for 35 years. The most we have are strong winds. Oh, no, seriously.
And lots of rain, of course.
And lots of rain. It's so boring down here. We are literally... I looked on a map once. If you spiral, starting from Plymouth, and spiral outwards...
Yeah.
You can probably follow all of, major events. We are so far down there for major events to happen. We are the asshole end of nowhere.
So when you explain Plymouth, because not a lot of people will know Plymouth, apart from...
the history.
Yeah, I mean, we got the Mayflower Steps.
Yeah.
Which...
There's a pretty historical moment.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks for that. You've just announced to the world that we're the reason America exists.
Yeah.
We wiped out the Native Americans.
But apart from that...
apart from
mass genocide, we live in a town where mass genocide started.
We're pretty forgotten.
Yeah.
We are a city.
That's what I'm saying. I never want anything massive to happen down here.
It's unlikely to.
It's unlikely to, but when you see it happen on the news, as Jeff would explain it, psyop or no, when there are mass shootings and when there are like earthquakes and tornadoes, we only really see this on the news. It doesn't happen here. And I'm kind of glad about that because we're so quiet that when you see this other stuff, it impacts you more.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We're such a seaside town, and can you imagine a terrorist attack in Plymouth?
Well, I remember years and years ago when I lived on the street that was right opposite the dockyard. Literally, we were a block of flats. You can look right over into the dockyard. Lived right there. And I remember there was a lot of leaflets handed out and information about what to do should a nuke go off in the dockyard.
Yes.
And it was like, I can see the dockyard. It is. It's like I can look over the wall into the dockyard. If a nuke goes off in that dockyard, it doesn't matter what it says on this piece of paper. Because me and this piece of paper will not be here. when that nuke goes off.
And surprisingly enough, that's when you've seen Terminator 2.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. That's why that sequence, because that was one of the first nukes in a film I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And I looked at the dockyard and I was like, like, there's just no. Like, why have you given these papers out? Like,
yeah, well, I still live close enough to get that every year, but it's now more about a leak and
radiation leak.
Yeah, take this tablet, please.
Which is happening, which is obviously going
slowly.
On. It's a 200, 300 year old dockyard.
Is it still storing nuclear subs?
They
300 years old.
When I worked there for a short time, they were refitting nuclear submarines.
Yeah.
I mean, I managed to stand on one of the hatches, obviously, where the missile would come out of, and I'm like, this is a bit fucked up, People want me to go around the world and see things when there's these
nuke
in the
right
ocean,
at your feet.
And at any point, somebody could go, order, execute, and one of these things could go flying out and wipe us all out. And then I just climbed off and carried on cleaning toilets. But that's the thing, really. They're refitting nuclear submarines there, and people have always talked about, oh yeah, aren't you worried about terrorist attacks? Well, if anybody did happen to get in there, there's really not that much to do. The Navy are so obviously prepared with their submarines.
Yeah.
So that they're highly unlikely somebody's going to get in there and set off a nuclear bomb, accidental or not. But there's a lot of Indian yachts for obviously the rich elite being built there by the different companies that rent spots. And it always makes me laugh that obviously right next door are these nuclear bombs. And like a 3.5 billion yacht.
Do you think they're going to load the yacht with a nuke by accident instead of a submarine?
No, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I have always suspected that they might be transferring weapons into there and selling them off, like we know that the government can do, sell them off to different countries. But nobody's really going to want to attack it because those countries are all in tide with their networks, and some guy's going to be like, oh yeah. Why haven't we attacked this place? Oh, because my yacht's being built there for my 16-year-old daughter. Oh, how much is that? Oh, 8.5 billion. Yeah. Let's leave that till 2 weeks from now. It's all a money-making scheme.
The train fares down.
Yeah,
they won't travel this far down. It's too expensive.
It's like spiral spot onto a map. Like, really, Plymouth? I mean, even the sound Plymouth.
It's M-O-U-T-H.
Yeah,
you'd think it's M-U-F-F.
And it's the mouth of the River Plym. How boring is that?
Yeah.
Compared to...
Well, we have Devil's Point. Yeah. This sounds cool.
It does.
Yeah. We've got a lighthouse.
We got a lighthouse. You get to stand on Devil's Point and look out at the sea. I have always admired the view I have from my workplace that I can see Plymouth Hoe.
Yeah.
And the line of the ocean. It's just right there on the horizon. And I always just stand there laughing to myself thinking, none of it exists past there.
Well, you got to remember, during World War II, Plymouth was bombed to holy hell.
Yeah, that's just bad aiming. Obviously they were
What were they aiming for?
They were aiming for the dockyard.
And the airfields.
And yeah, we were kind of influential to the war effort.
Yeah.
That was something to be proud of. Next to the genocide of America, I suppose.
Well, Plymouth used to be home to the most premium amateur wrestling outfit in the UK. What was it? What was it called? HAW?
Something like that.
Hardcore Amateur Wrestling?
Yeah.
Was this the wrestling back in the day that we all took part of?
No. That was before then.
We still know John Harden, actually, who's in charge of the
was the PWA, events. But I'm not sure what it is now.
Put 3 letters together, add wrestling at the end.
Yeah, that's it. Whatever abbreviation you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a time where me and Iain and Dave were amateur wrestling.
I think that's how I met Iain.
Yeah.
When you brought him along.
Yeah.
Big hairy one.
I remember Gary saying to me, you're going to have to meet my friend Dave, and then obviously this tall, thin looking guy, like, what? My name's Dave. It's just like, really? You don't look like a Dave.
I know, because it's David. Jesus Christ.
And so John basically, I think it's still on the channel, the wrestling documentary where I filmed and interviewed him, and it was the second event that was being held in the Guildhall in Plymouth.
Yes.
To celebrate the fact that he had launched Plymouth Wrestling again. And it's still going, and he's still travelling up and down the country collecting wrestlers. He gets wrestlers over from overseas.
We love our wrestlers down here. I mean, I'm pretty sure my earliest memory of being a kid was being taken to the Guildhall to watch wrestling.
Cool.
And I think Big Daddy was there. And if you're a wrestling fan, then you might know who Big Daddy is, but he's just a really big, fat British wrestler.
Yeah. I remember when Jake the Snake Roberts was down.
Oh, yes. Me and Jake the Snake Roberts, I got my nipples grabbed by him.
Yeah, that was strange.
Yeah, I was wearing a Less Than Jake Rock t-shirt.
So, was this like heavy drug day?
Yes,
Jake
it was
Snake?
heavy drug day, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
And he sees the t-shirt and he says, Less Than Jake, what's that supposed to mean? And I'm just like,
It's a ska punk.
oh my god, it's Jake the Snake Roberts. And he just kind of grabbed me, turned me around, and grabbed my tits. While Andy was stood next to me smiling, and they took the picture. And I'm like, oh my god, I got my tits grabbed by Jake the Snake Roberts.
Ian hasn't showered since.
Yeah.
I shower regularly, thank you very much. Getting deep there. I mean, I'm trying to keep the conversation sweet, and now you get personal.
Well, I do remember that it was supposed to be Roast Ian episode, or at least,
Yes, I have done some crazy shit in my time.
I was asked to recall one of my grossest moments of knowing you, Ian.
Okay.
And it's a memory that, because I tried to remember back, and they've all kind of merged together in a drunken haze. But I do remember I invited you round one evening. We were going to watch a film. I was with the girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
And we invited you round to watch a film.
Well, this is going down a strange path already.
And it wasn't a Netflix and chill evening. And so, they got to the time. No message from Ian. Just like, we'll put the film on. If Ian turns out, we can rewind it. VHS we're watching.
Yeah.
And, about an hour into the film, doorbell goes. I'm like, oh, that's Ian, stop the film. Go answer the door, and Ian falls through the door. I pick him up and kind of help him into the house, and he sits down and he's like, alright, yeah, just got back, fucking pissed, mate. Can I use your bathroom?
Oh, shit.
Goes into the bathroom.
I think I remember this one.
Vomits all over the sink. Vomits all over the bathtub.
Yeah, I remember this one.
Vomits all over the toilet.
Yeah.
All over the floor.
Yeah.
Party time.
He's in there for about 20 minutes. He comes out and he's like, I'm going home now, I'll see you later. Yeah.
Did you clean it up after?
Did I leave it for the girlfriend to clean
You
up?
cleaned up what you could see, but it was all the bits that you missed, which was all the bits that went everywhere else.
Yeah.
You cleaned up the bulk of it, but it was just like, thanks, Ian.
Didn't you tell me once that you went out drinking one night and you lost time?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember. You came around and told me about it. You went out and then you lied down on a field or something and woke up hours later or something.
There was a
Ian
field.
blacking out while
or
drunk.
like in a park where you laid down or sat down somewhere.
See, that's the magic of this, okay? There was... I realised this while I was thinking before recording this episode, that the party has chased me throughout my life.
Which party? All parties?
All parties! It's from the moment, my mum said to me, right, you need to move out, get yourself a job, get yourself a place, grow up and do all those kind of things. And you're just like... I was 16 at the time. It was, harsh. You just kind of, I just want to sit around and play PlayStation. You go out and you start working. You start making money. Then you start meeting people. And people want to go out for drinks. So you go out for drinks. I had a lot of drinks. I'm sat with two guys who, when I was younger, were the heads of the parties.
Yeah, I know.
Were you not?
It's the reason why I toned down my alcoholic intake over the last 5 years.
I just don't
Because I went too far down that alcohol path.
I'm like 3 years sober now.
Yeah. 3 years sober. Yeah, I'm sat here drinking a beer. I like my San Miguel now. I can sit quietly, have a San Miguel and just sit and chill.
Yeah.
You guys partied so hard... The two of you cannot even look at spirits properly.
No, I can't. Particular ones will make me retch from smell alone.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, I didn't mean to out party you, but at the same time, you guys were the heads of the party.
Well, that was Gary's fault for me. I mean,
I
he used to take me out. I was 15, taking me out nightclubbing, which I had a paper round at the time.
I think I was 17 then.
I had a paper round, so I had enough money to get entrance fee, which I think was £3, one drink, and like 10 cigarettes. And I used to go out with you and all your friends, lead me down a dark path, and then I was like, oh, if I drink a bit more, these nights get even better.
Do you remember Snakebite?
Snakebite and black cider, blackcurrant, and beer.
Black, yes.
It was one of the cheapest drinks the club did, and it came in pints, and it went down easy, and came out marsh.
Blackcurrant
and the same colour.
Adding blackcurrant to a beer
and cider,
cider at the same time, and we thought that was a good idea.
Yeah. It was a popular drink.
It was Friday night. We've finished work. We're hitting the town, and we're hitting it hard, and we partied hardy, Marty.
I remember there was a club, Cafe Sol, I think it might have been called.
Yes.
They served a drink called the Terminator.
Oh, God, yes.
And it was, I think there was a deal where it was 2 Terminators for like 11, 12 quid.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes that's
wasn't it £5 like back in the day?
I think
for 5?
Or 2, no, it definitely wasn't 2 for 5.
No.
Because like most of the normal cocktails were 5. But yeah, it was a shot of everything.
From the top
mixed with something else. It just didn't tell you what it was. But it was, one of every shot and then something else. And it was the most potent, violent drink you could do. It was called the Terminator a reason.
It was a birthday treat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was the only one you ever did.
Yeah, because if you did more than one on top of the usual, you just knew you were ruined.
I think I did one. Everyone was like, you got to do a Terminator, and went there.
You either start or end the night and with a Terminator.
That drink would literally path the rest of your evening from that point on. Looking back now, should never have done it. But hey, that was the point. We were out, we were young, we were going to party. Cat's not sure if he wants to go outside or not. And you just, like I said, the party kind of followed me. I would hang out with you guys.
I would also say, Ian, I mean, I met you when I was at the peak, I would say then, of being in party mode, where I went out 6 out of 7 nights a week to different clubs and things, and I met you during that time period.
Yeah, and it was at that point that it was nice to find somebody who understood films like I did.
Yeah, definitely.
It was nice to find somebody who actually appreciated what films were. And what they did.
I was thinking that like there's a question coming up in the next part of the podcast where it made me realise, like, out of just looking at John Carpenter, for instance, where you like a certain selection of his films more than I do, and I like a different selection of his films more than you do, but it was our different perspectives on the same things that we loved, which is where we found that common ground to just go, wow, I didn't see it from that angle, and vice versa.
It's always the thought of, what if we just started doing it back then? What if we just started getting the camera out and just recording onto VHS tapes before the birth of the internet? It's always a crazy thought. The fact that I'm told in school, talking about films, talking about games won't make you any money. And then we're in the future and they can. There are people out there, PewDiePie. I don't know the guy to like him or dislike him.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that he's got like 6 billion followers and he's paid to obviously just play games for 30 minutes.
And
how the
maybe
fuck?
Racist.
How the fuck did he get that?
Yeah, I've not seen enough PewDiePie content. It's his presentation. It's the over-the-top ridiculousness, the voices, the silly voices.
It works, though.
It does work for some reason.
It works for that person. And my point being is that, 10, 15 years ago, people were just like, no, computers aren't going to make it. The internet isn't even a fucking thought process yet. But when it does hit, when it does drop, you're going to have guys like that, presenting themselves in a way that obviously some people don't like. But 6 billion other people are just going to be fucking jumping on the bandwagon to watch week in, week out, episodic adventures. It's a crazy ass world out there.
Yeah, yeah, we are a small part of that YouTube family. You know, every creator on YouTube is part of that network.
Yeah,
you know, we're neighbors.
And that's the thing. It's like the audience that we have as well. The people who do, you know, listen through all the crazy shit that we put out there. That's what I've always loved.
Yeah,
as well.
It's finding an audience.
Just like
I would say it's a niche audience, but there's lots of film, you know, enthusiasts out there.
Just like when we met in that club years ago, talking about favorite films. It's just like that whenever we get I want to say nice audience member.
Yeah. Who
understands what we're talking about when we sit down and watch the films. You know, we get those others. I don't really want to say troll because that labels them. I want to say assholes. I'll say assholes. You get nice people on the internet, and then you get assholes. The nice people, obviously, they want to tell you their opinion. Yeah. In a nice way. And you get to read these in the comment section and go,
I love our comment section.
I really love that. I really love that. You get a thumbs up. I'd love to reply to every single comment, but
it's impossible.
You know, it's impossible. I'd have to do it as a day job.
That's one thing I just want to say now is I get quite a few requests from Facebook and Twitter and on my Xbox profile. Yeah. Now, I do generally accept friend requests on Facebook, but that's because my Facebook profile is dead. I don't really use it. I don't post what I'm watching or anything else. I really only use it to engage with the off-the-shelf audience. Yeah. So I don't have particularly private information on there or anything that I'm afraid is...
We're not social media hackies.
I'm not a big social media person. I use Twitter and some things occasionally to respond to some questions if I've got the time. Yeah. If not, I will just use it to read the comments and appreciate the feedback in as many words as you're allowed to use. Yeah. But people have also been asking if they can send me friend requests on Xbox Live. Right. Now, I've accepted quite a few already. Yeah. Obviously, my gamer tag is out there. It's been in enough Gaming Friday videos that people would pick up on it and just go, I'm going to send a friend request. Mm-hmm. And it's cool because some of you send messages, you send film requests or game requests that you'd like us to do.
They're nice people.
Yeah, they're good. And some of them just want to chill out and play a game on Xbox with me. Yeah. Sometimes that's great, that's fine. But sometimes it can be a little bit tricky when I'm in a party with people that I'm just gaming with because I've got the day off, I've finished editing and I'm just relaxing. And then people come in and start talking to me and I'm just... It's just a weird sort of balance. Yeah. I don't know whether to have an off-the-shelf reviews online account and then just keep my own one private or...
Well, see, now for me, I don't accept friend requests on Facebook to anybody I don't know personally. If you knew me, the kind of guy that I am, I'm an acquired taste. And using social media to make friends is a bit difficult for me because I'm just like, who are you? What are you doing? Are you a normal 9-to-5 person like everybody else, or are you actually
a home invader?
Yeah. Are you a home invader? Are you thinking about putting me in a bathtub full of acid and breaking me down? Selling my liver on the black market? I like I said, I've watched a lot of films, and the world is slightly crazy out there. So I like to keep friend requests to the side. If somebody sat there like, I'll friend request them on Facebook, you could be the nicest person out there. I'm not doubting that. If you're one of our audience members, then yeah, you love film, you love different types of film, and you don't want to go falling down on people. Right. Like Michael Douglas and just blasting people around. you kind of do what I do and just kind of grin and bear it. But yeah, Facebook friend requests, it's a dodgy subject.
Yeah, you got to be careful who you engage with. You don't know everybody, but the thing is, everybody knows you. Yeah,
because they've been watching you on YouTube years. As well. And people are seeing me, and I'm just like, my face is there. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I make this extra work? It's crazy.
Well, it's just something that you didn't really consider until obviously the success of the channel has grown and more people are interested in you.
It's the dream becoming the reality. Yeah. Everybody has that little dream of, I'm going to go do that and it's just going to be great and I'm going to become a super dollar millionaire overnight. But you forget about the 8 hours of work you have to do every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Like when editing videos. Oh, man. I really hope you all love my editing on there. I spend a lot of time with those videos. I don't ever watch them after I've done them because I'm on to the next one already. You know, it's like a conveyor belt. You know, we do one. I edit it, pass it to Barry.
I have to say, I mean, I did 2 months of continuous from scratch edits whilst you took a break, and then after your break, I gave you all the 6 Resident Evil films to edit.
Yeah,
and I know it's taken a toll because they needed to be done in quick succession.
The holiday specials always do take a lot because while we are also doing while I'm also editing the Halloween movies, we are recording new reviews. So I am watching a film, feeling about a film, and then jumping right back into Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Watching a film, feeling a film, going right back into Resident Evil. Back and forth, back and forth. Those Resident Evil movies are so bad.
Yeah, we know them pretty intimately now as well.
Intimately.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, actually, when doing the show. Because once I've done a film, once we've reviewed a film,
yeah,
and then we sit down and we obviously edit it and obviously look for it and make sure it's all ready so that it can go up and the content's good for everybody. It's so etched in there in my mind. As soon as I see a film on my shelf now, I flash through all my favourite scenes.
Yeah. Yeah,
I flash through all my favourite scenes. I'm like, I won't watch that yet.
That there was when this was before we started recording off the shelf reviews. I used to do that when it was like, I'm going to rewatch a movie, and I could just visually scroll down the collection.
Yes.
And just by looking at the case, it was just I took in all those scenes, and the whole film just played in my mind. So it was just like, hey,
bless you.
You sneeze every time.
I sneeze on everyone.
We are so
They're
live.
so covered in dust. That I just visually recall everything that I've seen in the film, and it was just like I don't need to watch it anymore. But it was but you know, it's because those movies etch themselves into your mind. It's
so ingrained that
that was when it was time to start talking about those films.
You needed to get out what we felt on those films, so that people kind of understood why we talked about it. I get it now. When the best way I've found to start a conversation with somebody. Doesn't matter who they are, you know, what they're doing. If there's a stranger, like you're at a party or something, you know, you're not sure if you want to talk to anybody. You just walk up to somebody and you're just like, hey, how you doing? Can I ask you what your favourite film is? Everybody's got a different favourite film.
Yeah.
And you can kind of, if you work it well enough, after a while, know a lot about that person's personality.
Just from that one
choice. From that favourite film.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? If
it's just like Mindhunter right now.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like you can get a complete character profile from one question with a couple of follow-ups.
Just kind of on their what they like to watch. You know, they could still be mass murdering psychopaths, but they like watching
their favorite movie, Summer of Sam. You know?
Yeah, if you ever meet somebody, my favorite film, Summer of Sam. My favorite film, Silence of the Lambs. It's like okay.
I don't know. I think you'd probably get on with them better than someone who said World War Z.
Yeah. Well,
but you probably wouldn't even reply. You just sort of turn away.
You're like, okay.
World War Z person, I would have to ask why they like it. Yeah. Why it's their favourite.
That's what I mean. Follow-up questions.
Out of all the films in the zombie history of cinema, why the fuck that one?
Because I watched Dead Rising and I liked that one, so I watched another zombie film, and that was World War Z, and that was even better.
You watched Dead Rising, did you?
I'm just saying this guy.
Yeah, I know, but that's how I would reply. I'd be like, "You watched Dead Rising, really?
You didn't play Dead Rising. You
play
watched
it. No. I've just watched it. I don't play video games." It'd be like, "Get out of here."
But then again, he might say, "I say watch, but actually I read it on Wikipedia," and then a better connection's made.
Yeah,
I Wikipedia a lot of my shit. I know I Wikipedia a lot of my shit.
It does upset me.
I'm starting to think you work for them. And this is just one big advertisement.
I like to be prepared when I go into shit. I'm sorry, you know, people like reading books and people like reading magazines with reviews and listening to reviews and shit.
The fuck is a magazine?
It's that flat thing on your phone when you scroll up and you see all the writing. You know, it's got writing. Writing. Remember writing? You know, the written word. I can't help it. I don't have the money or the time and all the patience to sit down and read what somebody else thinks about the film, or hear, or whatever. I'd rather just do it myself. Best way to do that as soon as the film's released, because release dates are such a fuck up. Why the fuck can't... Release dates on films are such a fuck up. Why can't they just all release the same film at the same time?
Well,
why do we get...
All the films of 2017 will be released on 13th of October.
No, what I'm saying is internationally and commercially. You know, there are films that are released in one country 2 years
sometimes
before
a company wants to test the because they need to know how many theaters they want to put
they
it
need
in.
to know how much
and
money
so
they're
they
going to
want to
make
see
from
how
it.
much interest is in certain regions before they...
money.
Yeah,
They want
of
to
course,
see how
that's
much
it.
money they're going to make from it. They should know already how much money they're going to make from it.
Well, how can they just know?
By preparation of making a good product.
Well, that means it does guarantee money, but it all comes down to its advertising and how word of mouth and test screenings. And
Gary,
responses.
we just sat through 6 Resident Evil films that had nothing connected to any of the source material of the
yeah,
games
but those
that we
films
subsequently
were
played.
made on a tiny budget, which made hundreds of millions of dollars.
Doesn't matter.
Of course, they were just going to release it everywhere because they knew the audience was already waiting for it.
Yes.
Because the money spoke to them in the last entry.
Yes, and obviously they had to release it, but even when the film does make money, they still drag it out, and it would just be a lot simpler, I think, if they just released it all at once. You know, you'd still get most of your money back and a little bit more, as long as you're giving out a good product.
Well, I was
You
just
still wouldn't
irritated
watch it.
because films would always be released in the US before the UK. And only over the last sort of 4 years, maybe 5 years, even, there's been a lot more releases in the UK before the US.
That's what I was adhering to. And actually,
10-minute roundabout.
as well, what is it with the international cinema laws over in like Japan and China, and
they
Asia,
just like we have the film.
Italy.
It's all everyone has different film censorship and what the government deems is allowable or age bracketed for each film.
Yeah, it's just...
There's the reason you mentioned South Park earlier and all of the censored parts. It's obviously in the UK. It's not allowed. There's even more censorship in like Australia.
But you see worse things on the news.
Really, then?
And they want you to watch the news. If you released all of these films, I reckon you could actually deal with a lot of the world's problems by just releasing films in all formats for everybody. No bylaws. Obviously, you still have laws of what films can be made because, you know, any Tom Dick with a camera can fucking do a Roman Polanski play.
What?
sorry. I was thinking about directors then, and all of a sudden Roman Polanski popped up in my head. And obviously, at the moment, you've got the whole thing with Harvey Weinstein, and I still think it's obviously a bad cop that the Hollywood.
I think the whole Hollywood systems
the Hollywood system
is priming right now for a huge shakedown.
Well, I believe it has to.
It's such a weird. I mean, they've even been films like making jokes or just
parodying the realities of Hollywood system throughout the years.
That kind of thing. So I don't understand why this is such a big shock.
Yeah,
that it's come out.
You know, I don't think it's the fact that it's a big shock that it's come out. I think it's the fact that it's being publicised as big as it is that is the big shock, because it means that obviously it has to come about with something, and I don't believe it will come about with something because the human race is.
Oh yeah, well, Hollywood's got their scapegoat at the minute, and
yeah, but just like we saw with Jimmy Savile and all of that, how many went down afterwards, the domino effect of all of the other voices coming out and all of these other celebrities that were busted.
Yeah, and but the thing that gets me as well, when you have like, I think it was Channing Tatum who came up and said, "Oh yeah, I kind of knew about it, but I didn't say anything."
Yeah. Well, it's because a lot of them felt like their careers could be put in jeopardy. Yeah,
but the horrible thing is, it's just like, a lot of people would be like, well, why didn't you say something? But when you're in that situation, I can probably, strangely enough, as an otherworldly being, understand from his point of view of the situation that he was in, that he had these interests to protect for himself personally, but he did it in a way that obviously I don't think he worked with Harvey Weinstein ever again after that moment. And it's just like, good, because that guy was pretty much untouchable.
Right. Yeah.
He doesn't seem pretty untouchable now. I think he's going to make
Well, he's lost everything.
I think he will actually make a good, new, nice friend in prison. Somebody who'll keep him warm at night. or stick a bomb in his neck and send him out into the world. We need a penal colony. That's the thing. We haven't got the technology to get ourselves off the world yet. But if we ever do, right, we need to be able to colonize other planets. So what we do is we take, obviously, the convict system to a point where, the most craziest people in the world, and we know who they are, most craziest people in the world, once you obviously...
You're going to stick them in a fortress facility underground, like in Fortress?
No. What you're going to do is you're going to stick them all on a rocket ship,
yeah.
Right? Once we get the technology to obviously...
so like lock out,
send them off, and just colonize other worlds with them, battling other creatures.
You don't want to do cryo sleep like Demolition Man?
Yeah. We need to defrost them so that when they land, and no weapon. Well, no, battle royale type weapons. So, like, obviously, one of them will have like a frying pan, another one will have a magnum, and if they kill them or kill themselves all off, no harm,
Didn't
no
Stone
foul.
Cold Steve Austin do a movie like that?
Yeah, it's on an island, the Condemned.
Yeah, Condemned.
I'm not saying we should send Stone Cold Steve Austin. Just like some of the most mass murdering psychopaths out there.
I don't know, but you just brought up a lot of examples where they all went wrong. Like the lockout.
Yeah. Well, the point is to
You come up with a
obviously,
new idea.
get rid of that element. There are bad people out there. We know about them, and I don't think that the justice system with prisons works. So I'm thinking deep space. Do you want to go into deep space and colonize another planet? Unless you're sure it's safe? No. So, maybe we should test a few rockets, some technology. It's crazy.
It just reminds me of Red Dwarf right now, where they end up all getting sent to prison and then being sent out on the dangerous, hazardous missions.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, we've been talking for 51 minutes. I know it's mainly just been about me, but this is the world that I exist in. We've got cats running around, people shouting for food. We've jumped from nuclear dockyards all the way through films and history of what we did with wrestling up to sending prisoners into space. I try to keep it.
You want to end it there, Ian?
Yeah, I could talk for hours. And those
know.
people that are obviously still listening, I reckon, could probably talk with me.
Yeah.
They could probably...
We need to get you doing it. Would you consider doing another 24-hour stream marathon, Ian?
Oh, man. I've thought about it.
I thought it would be, instead of you gaming this time,
right,
watching a whole series of films instead.
See, what? And be recorded while watching them?
Yeah.
Falling asleep.
See, this is the thing. When I did that 24-hour stream, I slept for 12 hours straight after.
Yeah.
My body literally shut down. And it was awesome.
Total recovery afterwards.
It was it was the best night's sleep I think I ever had. Just waking up and being like, well, where did 12 hours go?
Yeah.
And to think that I'd obviously sat for 24 hours before just playing games. That was as planned as this podcast was planned, really. It was kind of thrown together. I think I ended up playing BioShock for
quite a lot of it.
For quite a lot of it. Yeah, BioShock Infinite. And I loved it. I loved just playing it. And it was after a while I was realising, shit, it's 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be waking up soon and bringing me in like a cup of tea and some food. I ate so much pasta.
Yeah.
Pasta keeps you awake.
Yeah. Slow energy burn.
What? Why do I have to do it?
Because I'm not doing 24 hours.
That's how crazy
you
I
crazy?
am. Yeah, am I crazy? Yeah, people love that shit. The wife would probably question it.
Yeah,
I think.
It would have to be
She could
pre-planned, a good time.
Yeah, do you see? That's the thing. I wouldn't mind sitting there, playing or watching films and people coming in and just dropping in and out.
Yeah,
And
I mean, if we let
24
them know in advance the films that you'll be watching,
but
they could be watching the films in tangent with you.
Now this is the thing. I mean, we'd have to work it out to how many films it would take.
I don't know whether
24
you'd want to
hours.
do the Friday the 13th series, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or a genre of films, or users' selection of films.
Oh man, I don't know.
Wait, is it like a donation thing?
Possibly, yeah.
So-
A fundraiser to help
a
us finally
20
get that new camera and
A
microphone.
24-hour movie streamathon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the higher the person donates, the they
better
can pick.
their choice of film that
Yeah.
you'll...
So, if you got a lot of money and you want to make him suffer.
It takes a lot. I've realised during these years of off-the-shelf reviews.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
It doesn't take a lot for me to not get on with the film. But I've seen Iain has a much bigger tolerance for films than I do.
Yeah, but I do get very sensitive over shitty films.
You do.
Do. I mean, so if we were, obviously, I'm just imagining if I was sitting there for 24 hours with a camera on me, I would not be responsible for what was said. If somebody said, oh yeah, here's the next film, it's fucking Centrinians 2. You have to watch Centrinians 2. I'll be like,
I have to watch the first one first.
Okay. No, you just have to skip to the
second one and figure out what happened.
Skip to the second one. People just throw it in. I would swear.
Well, yeah.
I hate shitty films. You've made me watch some shitty films, Gary.
I know. I've had to watch them too.
Yeah, but you've enjoyed them.
Some of them, yes.
You made me watch Dead Rising. It was fucking
I had to
horrible.
watch Basket Case 3.
And that was your choice as well. You chose the Basket Case trilogy. Synodoki, New York.
Oh, it's an amazing film.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Fucking Tekken.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And I know Tekken is abysmal.
Alien Covenant.
Oh, God. We haven't done it yet.
All right, before we go down the list of horrible films.
Yes, yeah.
So, it's your birthday this month.
Yes.
What's your best favourite birthday you can think of moment?
My best favourite birthday moment?
Yeah, that's a good sentence I just made.
My best birthday favourite moment?
I could probably guess the best present I think I've ever given you on your birthday.
Oh, I
was
bet it.
Probably Doom, the board game.
Oh,
I know
yes.
how much you treasured that one.
Yes, the Doom board game for my birthday was absolutely awesome. That was the original board game.
The original one, yeah.
The original board game from Doom 3. That was an amazing board game. I'm going to be quite sappy. That's how sappy I can be as well. Favourite birthday present was getting a birthday card from Dylan.
Your own son.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. As I've gotten older, I've realised you can buy absolutely anything you want. Yeah. But then they're just kind of objects unless you can share them with people.
Yeah. And,
there's a particular bond you have with, like, your child. That's obviously, like, I'm a god, I create life. that's what the rules say anyway, But, at the same time, I do consider myself Monkey, the Monkey King. Or I do worship the following of the Monkey King.
Do you rub your stick and make it longer?
If I had a stick that could change any size...
Definitely flings his shit everywhere.
That would be fucking awesome. This year, my birthday, I've already spent money on myself, but I'm very tempted about buying the Dark Souls board game. It's fucking 90 quid, and I'm like, it's almost my birthday.
Spoil yourself.
The Resident Evil 2 board game's out as well.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
need some fresh board games.
And, man, you've got to celebrate that shit. I've always said, it's your birthday. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter where you are, you've got to celebrate that shit like it's fucking the last birthday you're ever going to have.
Yeah.
Take a week out. Anybody questions, fuck you, it's my birthday. It'll catch on. People will start taking like whole weekends off, like, my birthday's on Monday, so I'm just not doing anything this week. Let's bring the system down. let's just shut it all down. I reckon if nobody went to work, those moguls in the fucking banks would start shitting a brick.
Well, they won't be at work to worry about it.
No, well, they would.
Well, before Iain carries on down his new ideas about a revolution, we're going to bring this section of the podcast to an end. Iain, thank you for your insight into the world.
Thank you for being here.
As you see it.
I've enjoyed you all.
And I think we're going to get an even deeper insight as we go into part 3 of the podcast. We'll be answering your questions. Don't go anywhere.
We are still live, motherfuckers.
Well, live right now, but it's recorded, so it's going up in like 2 weeks' time. So,
but still, we're in the person's ear; they can hear everything now.
Okay, yeah. And what is this part of the podcast about, Iain?
We're on the question answers part, which is my favourite part of the whole podcast.
And our first question is from Matthias.
Hey, Matthias.
You guys did a top 5 John Carpenter movies video once, but as I understand it, that was Ian's top 5.
Oh, well.
Did you agree with that list, Gary? If not, please give us your top 5.
Before Gary goes in with his answer, I just have to say, it did start off as a top 10.
But then I realised that really just included all the best John Carpenter films, and it wasn't really a challenge for you.
Well, that and the fact that you did want to keep it down to at least 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I could have talked about John Carpenter for like an hour.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Easily. I could have filled a whole hour with all of his films. And the top 5, we have to still dip into those films.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Yeah, there's still films in that top 5 that we have not covered yet. Like, all of them.
Any on there that you would have changed?
Well, I've put together my own top 5.
Okay.
And at number 5, I have They Live, which
Yeah.
I know was in your list.
Is in the list. Yeah.
Number 4 for me was Big Trouble in Little China, which I know was not in your top 5.
Yeah. There's reasons for that.
Number 3 for me is In the Mouth of Madness, which we have done a review for.
Yeah, it's good.
Number 2 for me is Christine. You know, I just absolutely adore that film. The soundtrack,
You do.
the book,
You
Stephen
do.
King, John Carpenter, great collaboration.
And your number 1 is The Thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Had to be The Thing. You know, it's the one thing we do have similar on the list.
Yeah.
The Thing, yeah. Absolutely, without a doubt.
We have to visit all of those films, and we could just easily spend a whole podcast talking about John Carpenter.
We did several podcasts talking
Yeah.
about John Carpenter. But those are some of those films on there. Obviously, Big Trouble in Little China and The Thing definitely being requested. They are on the to-do list. It's just a matter of spacing out the John Carpenter reviews, I think.
Yeah, I've got the personal preference on John Carpenter.
Yeah.
When it comes to the reviews, you know,
Yeah.
Gary has reviewed his favourites. Obviously, we've done Christine in the Mouth of Madness. We're not touching The Thing until we do the prequel first.
Yeah. I know you've laid down this ridiculous rule, but
I'm sorry. I just have to. It's the way I see the films. They've been working that way.
Next question's from Matt Midgley.
Hey, Matt.
Has been many great films based on true events, but is there any true events that have not yet been made into a movie that you believe could and would be good?
Ooh.
And I spent a little time trying to think.
That's a deep question. Yeah.
And I was just looking through history of just different things like monumental world-changing events. And they've all had movies sort of directly or indirectly around that subject.
Yes.
So I really came up with nothing. Like, and you know, I mean, things that are happening, like world major events that are happening to us this year, last year.
Yeah.
Down the line, we will see those movies be made. You know, like mass shootings get turned into films. You know, natural disasters get turned into films, like the tsunami that happened all those years ago. There's been several films in and around. So there's not much left. You know, almost all of history has been told in some form in film format.
Well, I mean,
all the way down to, you know, pilots that were drunk and, you know, managed to successfully land planes. You know,
most historical events that we see made into films are just kind of made more exciting, aren't they?
Well, they're dramatised,
They're dramatised to the max, so it keeps you interested for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
About the subject. Most historical figures, I suppose, that haven't actually been picked probably did something really, really good, but it was really quite boring. I mean, throwing one out there, Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
You know, created the, light bulb?
Yeah, electricity.
Right? Electricity, right? Yeah. No film about him, but then again, would you really sit down and watch a 2-hour documentary about
how he formed the science?
Or
it's like, how many films are there about Einstein and the way he formed his theories? But we've had one about Stephen Hawkins, yeah.
Which was good.
Yeah.
But still, those life-changing events are done by actual people who are just kind of boring.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing like sort of a satirical telling of sort of Brexit. Maybe by like director Armando Iannucci, is it? Who's just done The Death of Stalin and did like The Thick of It. But sort of a very, very biting satire version of
the real characters, the real votes, the real decisions that were being made.
The Death of Stalin looks good.
But you could get like a frog and to
Yeah.
play Farage, and you know.
Are you talking like comedic satire?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Full on mockumentary. Of
Yeah.
Brexit.
Got me as a joke anyway.
Yeah.
Next question's from Will Schwarting.
Hey, Will.
He says, I'm the guy who's been requesting American Psycho, not that other guy that you mentioned.
Okay. The other guy.
And his question is, if you were given the opportunity to cast a new Batman to replace Ben Affleck, who would it be? Thanks, guys.
A new Batman.
Yeah, if you were in the casting director's chair, who would you cast as the new Batman? It was funny, I caught up with my brother the other day,
Yeah.
and he mentioned to me that we were talking about different films, and he was just like, didn't realise that David Boreanaz was once considered for the role of Batman for The Dark Knight, but David Boreanaz turned it down because of his obligations with the Bones TV series.
Yeah.
And he also didn't think that the project would be any good. And you realise there was actually a whole list of other actors that were approached for that role and actually just went, no, don't want to do Batman.
Yeah.
And so, I was thinking, David Boreanaz is not a bad idea. I know he's a TV actor, but he did Angel, the brooding vampire. He looks-ish the part.
I mean, it's how the chin looks, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, he could pull off the suave
Carl
Bruce Wayne
Urban.
Carl Urban would be a good choice. I mean, he was good for Dredd.
He was good. He had a good chin line.
Yes, yeah.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. What?
Sylvester Stallone. He played Dredd as well.
I wrote down Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I thought he'd be an interesting one. It was kind of hinted at that he would.
Small.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was
He's Nightwing.
But I mean, yeah.
A Nightwing movie.
Yeah.
Where David Boreanaz turning up, but not actually taking the part.
There's a Nightwing happening, isn't it? It's a film or TV series in development.
Probably going to come up at some point. I mean, Arrow's becoming quite successful, so's Gotham.
Yeah. All right, next question's from Ava Langren.
Hey, Ava.
And she says, go see Get Out, which
Seen it.
I've left off the list of things that I have seen.
It.
I did actually watch it after Andy also said to watch it, and after hearing about this guy's other work, I thought, I'm going to watch Get Out. It was fun. It was a fun film. Some people mentioned that it was similar to Skeleton Key in concept or in style, and because I watched it within a week of reviewing Skeleton Key, and I was like, wow, I can easily see it echoing in Get Out. But it still didn't lessen the experience. I still really enjoyed it.
Cool. I like the ending as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the ending
in films
was good.
like that, it's like there's always going to be that twist at the end, but no.
Yeah, it ends well. Yeah.
Ends well.
So I would recommend it. It was if you want an interesting modern horror film as well. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, get all the buzz about Get Out was worth it.
Yeah,
it was interesting to watch. Continuation of her question. She says, I was wondering in Alien Covenant.
Okay.
Here we go. How did David make those eggs with the face huggers without an alien queen? I was confused about the whole thing.
Okay.
Now, I have got my
theory.
I think we went into it briefly.
Yeah.
In the reaction review that we did, and essentially the answer is egg morphing, which is a process by which xenomorphs are capable of transforming non-xenomorph organic material into a viable egg. It is, in essence, an alternate means of reproduction that does not require the presence of an egg-laying queen.
No.
That is what he did, is what Ridley Scott filmed and deleted from the original film, was that an alien can make an egg without there ever having been a queen. And that is what Covenant is suggesting, what David has done, because there was no sign of a queen.
No, what
in Covenant.
What killed the fucking co-pilot from Prometheus?
Shaw.
Yeah, what killed Shaw again?
Chestburster.
And what happened to that one?
That is probably what then made the eggs.
There.
But there was definitely no queen in Covenant. There was no sign of the queen either.
You didn't see any sign of the queen.
So it has to have been egg morphing. Which is what Ridley Scott had in Alien 1. And that was one of the things that irked me. was because he was implying that the aliens can do this too.
Yeah. That was always the deleted scene that always bugged me.
Yeah.
Because it just didn't... Not even before I saw Aliens. Because I've read the Alan Dean Foster novels first.
Right.
And then saw the film. And in the novel, it's got that sequence. And even then, it didn't make any sense. That obviously it was describing it, how the amino acids were breaking down the body. But that only worked because they were cocooned. They were cocooned by the drone. The drone had laid the mucus stuff around them, and that was what was breaking them down to become
an egg.
Yeah. Which I didn't really get, because I could understand it becoming an egg, but I didn't really understand how the human body would break down and take on the form of a chest burster. It was like the egg was creating the chest burster.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
So the drone mucus
it seems ridiculous.
broke the human down to become this egg.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what happened. I think,
unless there's something else the alien is also doing during that process that we're not privy
to. in Covenant, David kept genetically manipulating the black goo that he had up to the point on a microscopic level it could create a creature from an egg.
Right.
So like when that guy steps on the fucking pheromones out in the forest, and it goes up his nose, flies up his nose, flies up his ear, it goes inside and it builds a chest burster, right? Mm-hmm. David has just been making that on a larger scale.
Right.
That's how he's been doing it. He's been obviously using Shaw, he's been using all his technology. He's used everything on that whole entire planet.
Yeah.
That's what the film's also trying to suggest. Or that maybe that area.
Yeah.
You know, for a couple of 100 miles. Every single... Because there's no other creatures, is there?
No.
And he's just broken down all these things until he gets this alien facehugger, which then creates the xenomorph, which doesn't make any sense. I just explained something that doesn't even make any sense.
Oh, God. It hurts to think about.
Sorry, next question.
Next question. Well, the next question's an interesting question. I'm not really sure if it is a question.
Okay.
It's from Benjamin Hansen.
Hey, Benjamin.
Who says, it versus them. So we're talking it, the spider, versus... them, the giant spiders.
Wow. Okay.
I guess.
I'm going to go with it, the spider, because it's got actual...
It has
thought.
Interdimensional power.
Yeah.
As them is just a radioactive spiders, essentially. So the next part is the thing versus it.
Oh, shit. Well, the thing, because it can probably take on the form of anything it wants to get close to it.
Would it be able to absorb
Pennywise? It would be able to scare the thing,
because Pennywise,
the thing people.
the it being, I mean, it's also an alien as well as the thing. So, but would it be able to manipulate and scare the thing from using things from the thing's own experiences? What scares the thing?
The thing would take on the form of a human nearby or whatever creature, right? And it would believe that it was real up until the point that it was threatened, and then it would become the thing. It would
not actually physically be there because it's not always there, is it?
It would possibly sense that this thing wasn't human and wouldn't like the taste of it.
But the thing wouldn't be able to assimilate the manifestations of it.
No, he'd have to assimilate the spider.
But it would have to get to the spider thing, which is not going to be easy for the thing.
Which the thing could possibly easily do, as long as it doesn't realise that the thing is the thing.
Did anybody follow that?
No. I totally have that. Right, so the thing has to assimilate the spider. It would sense that the thing isn't human and probably wouldn't like the taste of it because it's not scared of it. Even if it is scared of it, it only believes it. The thing only believes that it's scared of it because the thing believes it's human. But then when they got towards... Imagine the final sequence of the TV serial of it.
Yeah.
And all of the grown-ups are stood there.
Oh, the thing.
Are remembering their history of it as a child. They're about to kill this giant spider interdimensional thing, and then all their heads just crack open and shitloads of tentacles come out, and they fucking pull it to the ground and fucking assimilate that thing, that it, and
Yeah.
the thing wins.
Is there a simple question like, what's your favourite biscuit? For God's sakes.
Okay. Right, this is an easy question coming up. It's from the Borum 1976.
Hey, Borum 1986.
76. Gentlemen,
Yes.
love your reviews and podcasts.
Thank
How
you.
about for podcast 13, you do a kick-ass Friday the 13th show?
Well, we hadn't actually thought about getting to 13. You know, it was a chore getting to 11.
A chore?
Well, it was a chore to organise everything around it. Life around obviously sitting down and then speaking for 3 hours to get it out so that we could obviously get ready for the next one. You know, we love giving out the content.
Yeah.
And on top of Resident Evil, I brought it up again. I had to bring it up again. It was just, it's crazy getting to 11. So with 13 on the cards, I'd say yeah.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely going to happen. It's inevitable. Inevitable that on podcast 13, that whole hour, we'll be talking about Friday the 13th.
An hour of Friday the 13th. I mean,
I could spend an hour talking about part 2. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I really love part 2.
Cool.
I haven't
Part
studied.
6 is my favourite.
I haven't studied Friday the 13th like that and know all of the history.
No.
But I've watched every single film.
Have you not watched the documentary?
Dude, I don't have that time.
Crystal Lake? No. Have you ever seen the...
I'm not sure if I have either.
I probably.
It's about like 9 hours long, and it goes through like
Each
film, and it's...
They did one for for Nightmare on Elm Street, and there was another one as well. There are some good horror documentaries out there that do go over all of the films in quite good
A
detail.
9-hour documentary. I could watch that on that 24-hour thing.
Yeah.
well worth the watch.
So simple answer is yes. Podcast
Yes.
13 will be about Friday the 13th. Next question's from DMC Campbell.
Hey, Campbell.
Says, hi Gary, Ian and Dave. And thanks for answering my previous question on your podcast. I have 3 questions for you to answer.
Ooh.
The first question is for Ian regarding his birthday.
Yes. It's my
Do
birthday.
you go anywhere for a meal, such as a favourite restaurant, or do you have a relaxing birthday at home with a few beers, takeaway, and catching up on any Hawaii 5-0 episodes that you may have missed?
I get to sit down on my ass.
Yeah.
As long as I'm sat down. That's okay. Macaroni and cheese with pulled pork as well. It's like the god dish. Yeah, I call it the god dish.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
That's your recipe for your birthday.
Well, it's because as soon as I get up out of that chair, I've got to work. I've got to work.
Yeah. So just time off from everything.
Yeah, I just get to sit down 5 minutes, like,
Wheel into the toilet.
pass me a bottle.
Oh God. Secondly, Gary, for your birthday, did you get any unexpected gifts from Ian? Well, yeah. Yeah, we did. You saw it in the 10K video. Thanks, Ian, for my Blu-ray copy of Alien Covenant.
And I had to get it for you. You weren't going to buy it.
Of course I wasn't going to buy
You
it.
weren't going to buy it, and I had to get it for you to put in your Alien collection.
No, I own all the Alien films.
I do pride myself on getting Gary strange Alien presents for his birthday. It's
Yeah.
a kind of coincidental tradition.
Yeah.
I just find something weird.
Alien related.
The Alien versus Predator commemorative plate, I think, is still the best one.
Yeah.
And this year you shit the bed.
Finally, what do you guys think of the remake of the MacGyver TV series starring Lucas Till? If you've managed to catch this, the remake has a crossover episode with Hawaii 5-0 called
Yes.
Flashlight.
Yes.
No?
Have you never seen MacGyver? MacGyver's about a guy.
I know what
who-
it's about, but I've never actually
No,
watched
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
same
he
here.
can
It's not
literally,
something
get himself out of any situation.
Yeah, it's basically called the MacGyver effect, where you just kind of use, whatever scraps are lying around to break out of
Yeah,
a
I
security safe vault thing.
I think Burn Notice did it better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, burn it.
And maybe that was because it had Bruce Campbell in it, and
I
I'm being
think so.
biased. But
I think so.
MacGyver, it's a bit like Lethal Weapon, where it's kind of more corny than thrilling.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely no Hawaii 5-0.
No.
I
don't know.
It was just-
MacGruber's just not on my
it was
immediate to watch list.
Yeah, and it was kind of like back in the day when we had 4 channels on our TV in the UK.
It just
Yeah.
feels like
It
the
was-
male equivalent of Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, I mean we did get Murder She Wrote and like Columbo, but
I loved Columbo.
Oh,
I think MacGyver I don't think ever came up. I don't remember ever
I don't
coming
remember
up
seeing
in
it
TV
in
in
UK
this.
TV. No.
No,
Which-
we had Cagney and Lacey. They were the best. Do you know what actually started recently? I'm just going to bring this up right now.
Go on.
The A-Team. They started showing the A-Team on TV again.
Yeah, they go every few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love about the
Good
A-Team.
nostalgia. Next question is from Nathan Aldering.
Hey, Nathan.
Great show again. Please don't think the new piece of shit Blade Runner film is in any way good.
Ooh.
What's fair? What's fair?
Ooh.
It's got quite good reviews though.
Yeah,
through-
it does
across the board.
It is doing fairly well. I don't
Yeah.
think it's getting its budget back,
No,
but
no.
I don't think the first one did. My question is, maybe similar to others, what films, especially sequels, would you erase from history? You can only have 5. Well, that's not bad. I mean, but I was thinking of the actual answers, and I was like, there's some sequels like that I don't think are great, but removed from history. I don't really know.
Yeah, I was on the path that just because the sequel's bad doesn't tarnish the original.
No,
You
no.
know, so I would never consider a sequel
I
that horrifically
my immediate
bad.
response,
I've
though.
got one.
Go on.
Tekken 2, Kazuya's Revenge.
Yeah, but was the first one that?
Worthy of being destroyed by
You
its
said
sequel.
I could delete any
film, any
any
5
sequel.
films. Sequels
I'm a sequel whore.
Hmm.
I love sequels.
Yeah, there's a lot of sequels that I do like, and
Yeah.
that's why. I mean, I was looking at it. I was like, Back to the Future 3 is always the inferior film, but would I remove it? No.
No, you need it to finish off Back to the Future 2. You
Yeah.
can't just leave it hanging at the end of Back to the Future 2.
Right.
You've got to finish off the trilogy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of the same. It's like, I really love Night of the Living Dead Part 2.
That's the one I don't like.
I love that neighborhood kind of zombie attack. Just
Yeah.
the comedic value of the zombies in that movie.
Yeah.
I think Psycho 2 is superior to the first one.
Yeah. My choice to eliminate from history,
Yeah.
the 2 Matrix sequels.
Oh no!
Yeah,
No.
I would burn those and just have that one cult Matrix film that was near perfect.
It does finish on a high note.
It really does,
It
and
does.
I think that sequels
Standalone.
just blemished the Matrix. I know it has its supporters, and I know it brought about lots of other things to dissect, and that was because it was a bit overly convoluted and made not too much sense.
Yeah.
And it was then just a spectacle of a big shootout.
Yeah,
It
but-
lost the story.
I mean, when I do watch the second part, it is literally just the main scenes. It's
Yeah.
like the exposition and the just nonsense. I skip through and then just get to the highway,
Yeah, the highway
Chasing.
chase sequence, which was fantastic, granted. But
which I couldn't. That's why I wouldn't get rid of it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I do enjoy that.
I would also kill the Jaws sequels.
Oh no way! Jaws
No.
2 rocks.
No, I would
Jaws
kill the
2
Jaws sequels
rocks.
because the first one, again, is just a fantastic film.
Yeah, you got
And
me
there
there.
are a bazillion shitty shark movies out there that Jaws didn't need to really be in that bracket as having some of the worst shark movies out there with its sequels. Highlander 2 and Highlander sequels onwards, easily take some of them out. Again, the second one seriously blemished that first film. Ghostbusters 3, I'm still not over it.
Yeah.
And of course, Alien Covenant, I would erase that film so fast that if it never happened.
Yeah. See, I love sequels though. There are not many really, really bad ones.
Yeah, if it is really bad, you go, oh, that was shit.
Yeah,
But
you
then
just got to delete
just-
the whole history.
It just goes out of your head.
Yeah, you forget about it and just remember the first one if it hasn't been destroyed so badly.
Yeah.
Like Robocop 3.
Oh, why'd you bring that up?
I'm just thinking of sequels I would, remove.
That's a whole
Yeah, that's
thing.
actually a good one because I literally never watched that one. I
No.
always watched the first 2 and then I just don't
Yeah.
ever go on to the third.
Predators.
Yeah, the third Predator film.
The third Predator film.
I don't know if I'd delete it,
Predator 2's awesome.
Yeah, I know the second one's awesome. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
All right, next question's from Joseph Makowski.
Hey, Joseph.
Can you guys review Sliver for Halloween? No.
Yeah,
Maybe
no.
a Halloween.
Maybe for a future Halloween? Definitely. I mean,
It'll probably come up during the week at some point.
Director James Gunn, starring Nathan Fillion, Michael Rooker, Elizabeth Banks. Horror comedy, 2006. I love that film.
That film's awesome.
And when I got the DVD for it, I was just like, this is a treasure. This film is gory, the body horror, the alien creature, Michael Rooker's performance, Nathan Fillion's performance.
Doesn't he get beaten up by a deer?
I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
I just remember the practical effects, the big goo monster at the end, the comedy, the lines. Jesus jumped up Christ on a cross.
It goes up there with the blob.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
I just love James Gunn's work. Super, Guardians of the Galaxy. I even enjoyed Lollipop Chainsaw. The Dawn of the Dead remake that he was the writer for.
Nice.
Yeah. Love James Gunn's work. So. It's Sliver itself has been on the review list, not necessarily for Halloween, but just because I want to review a good horror movie and a director's work that I like.
Yeah, but we haven't done Serenity yet.
No,
we've got to do Serenity.
We've got to do Serenity.
Point. I mean,
yeah,
that's on there.
Yeah,
I do that over Sliver because of Nathan Fillion.
Sure. About body horror. What was that film you reviewed semi recently?
That narrows it down.
Ended with like all that weird town culminating in one big blobby human. It was about a boy and the town was all weird, and then it ended up in like this weird orgy where all their bodies sort of
Society.
Yeah,
I reviewed that years ago.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
That is a fucked up film.
Definitely.
Got hints of Slither in there though.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it.
Yeah.
I saw the end.
Tarot TV / Christopher.
Hey, Tarot TV.
Question for next podcast. Name 3 epic scenes that gets you goosebumps every time you watch it. The speech scene from Lord of the Rings movies and the Star Child scene at the end of 2001 would be easy picks for me. I could see one or a couple of the scenes from Blade Runner 2049 being new ones that I'll add to the list. I won't spoil which ones though.
I would have the blood sequence from The Thing.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. One of the most tense scenes in film. Without a doubt.
Fucking just starts shaking and then all of a sudden he's on the ceiling. And you just like, burn it! Burn it!
First response for me came with Alien 3. The whole sequence with Ripley and Bishop at the end. And he's trying to convince her to give it up and pass over the baby and have a normal life, have the child that you've lost, and her giving up everything to make sure that creature stays out of existence. Just every time I watch that film, that scene is so gripping, so powerful.
I recorded it off the TV the first time I watched it years and years ago on VHS, and it got to that point, and it's when she just starts to fall back. Yeah. Got to the end of the VHS tape and would start to rewind back to the start. And it was years later until I actually watched the last part of that film.
Yeah, which was another 20 seconds, but yeah, just amazing moment. The ending to Terminator 2, the final handshake with Sarah Connor and the Terminator and him lowering himself in. The thumb. It was such an emotional thing. That, I get excited and scared and goosebumpy, and that moment is coming when every time you watch the film. Saving Private Ryan, the opening when they're all just heading to that beach. Oh, well, you know what's coming. Yeah. Watching the film, you feel it. It's just, and Apocalypse Now, Rise of the Valkyries helicopter scene.
Wow.
It's it's a monumental scene in the film. The film builds you up to that moment with just that music, the visuals, there's some of the most epic moments I could think of that give me goosebumps.
I mean, if we're talking goosebumps, I can think of some awkward scenes that give me goosebumps.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what?
Well, I was just thinking about epic scenes and scenes that give me goosebumps, and do you know what popped in my head? When Philip Seymour Hoffman goes and sees his daughter.
Oh dear. Yeah.
In Synecdoche, New York. Synecdoche, New York. And he goes and sees her, and she says that she doesn't forgive him. That fucking scene breaks.
And that she's convinced that he was gay and everything else.
After everything else you sat through that film, that scene was just...
My 3 was...
How do you talk that?
Yeah,
How do you
let's
top
just
that?
move along. Mine's probably Fong Sayok 2 with Jet Li,
Right.
when he blindfolds himself, when he's got like about 20 katana blades attached to him, and he just slowly makes way through an alleyway with like about 100 henchmen, and
Nice.
he just cuts them all up
Nice.
in an awesome slow motion scene. Probably Jackie Chan, Police Story 2, a fight scene in the park. I can watch it endlessly. Always gets me excited, and it's just perfectly made. And I don't know, maybe sort of the ending to Requiem for a Dream.
Oh my god, why did you say that?
I think
mic drop. Nice.
it's horrible, but it just builds and builds and builds to just utter misery, and then it's a scene. I think it builds to him walking along the pier, and he just falls.
Yeah.
And it ends.
Can we go back to Jackie Chan? Because
I don't want to ever go back to Requiem.
Oh,
Jeez. Alright, I'm going to move on to the next
yeah,
question.
Next question.
Craig Hall.
Hey, Craig.
After watching such a collection of shit shows, like you have done recently with the Resident Evil series, and previously with the Hellraiser reviews, a couple of classics in there, fair enough, but a majority of shite in the series. Is there a long-running series that you fancy reviewing that doesn't actually boil your piss? And I immediately came up with a whole bunch of answers.
So,
the Saw franchise, definitely. I'm excited to go and see Jigsaw next week.
yes.
I'll definitely talk about it in the next podcast for sure. The Nightmare on Elm Street movies. You know, I enjoy all of those films.
Really?
Yeah, none of them piss me off.
Yeah,
They're all good fun to watch.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in the mood to watch Freddy, you know, butcher at teens and crack one-liners.
Yeah. I mean, the remake was a bit meh,
That's the only one I wouldn't watch.
But it's not so absolutely terrible that it will put you off.
I kind of put it on the same level as the remake to Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
It was just retreading
It was pointless.
the footsteps of of the classic.
See, this is why I'll always say Saw is the superior horror series.
Yeah.
It's always kept my interest with this convoluted but simple story revolving around this jigsaw killer who has died halfway through the series.
Yeah.
Unlike Freddy, who
Has died and been brought
tonally,
back. He's a
the
demon.
series goes up and down.
Oh, yeah.
You know, where Saw is just like harsh. Yeah,
It's harsh and brutal and
harsh and
torturous.
brutal all the way through with quite a good story.
Is there much apart from horror that has long-running?
Police
sort of
Academy.
movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Police Academy series.
Anything else?
I was still on the horror track and
One track mind, Gary.
Well, I mean, it was about we always review series of films for Halloween, so it's usually the horror series that we do in a bulk.
Yeah.
And so Final Destination,
Ooh,
they're all fun
Final
films to watch.
Destination.
I know the latter ones are, they don't feel as creative, or the deaths are a bit too convoluted, but they're still good fun to watch.
But they're a bit like the Saw series, with a simple story behind it and these over-the-top deaths.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to follow deaths trying to kill them all.
Yeah.
You know what you're going in for after number 5.
Yeah, for sure. The Reanimator series.
Oh, that's a tough one. The prison was a bit hard to get through.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't boil my piss, though. And it's a series of films that I'd easily watch.
Yeah.
Tremors. I'd easily watch the whole series of films. None of them piss me off. They're good, cheesy, creative horror movies about, worms.
We haven't done the Amityville series yet. That might be really good. I want to see how good a horrific lamp is.
I've seen that film a couple of times. It's not that horrific.
The Chucky series?
Well, we've done the Chucky series, but the most recent one.
Yeah.
The Night of the Living Dead series.
The Return of the Living Dead series.
Yes.
No, the last 2 are really shit.
What?
How
many?
Necropolis
and
something else.
I've seen the first 3. How many more after that?
2 more.
2 more.
Yeah, and they were just awful.
The Night of the Living Dead series stops at number 3.
Yeah, so... But yeah, it wouldn't... I don't know if it would boil, I don't know if I'd get angry with those last 2 films. I would just be really disappointed and bored.
Compared to the... I'm obviously not doing the review now, but compared to the Night of the Living Dead series...
Yeah.
We would be really annoyed after number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would definitely ball up.
Diary of the Dead. I mean, that one's not...
Diarrhea of the Dead. Has anybody coined that yet? That's mine.
Diarrhea of the Dead.
What about, like, fantastic.
Phantasm.
Fast and the Furious.
And we did
we did the first
we're
6,
still
so I think
2
they're
out.
down for copyright at the moment.
I mean, I
kind
like...
of got turned on to them after a while, after hating them for so
Yeah,
long.
the same here. I mean,
just
I only
gave
like
up.
the last 2.
Yeah, I haven't seen the most recent one after Paul Walker's accident.
They're a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
And I bet you they make more sense than the Resident Evil series.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, they turned them into superheroes.
Yeah.
So,
With
yeah.
fast cars, yeah.
And Craig also finishes off with, also, have you caught the new Star Trek Discovery yet? And if so, what are your thoughts? And yeah, as I said, I think it's really good. Really, really good. I'm glad for Star Trek.
Yay, Star Trek.
Next question is from Jordan Schickstammer.
Hey, Jordan.
How do you feel about the work? How do you feel about the work of David Lynch? Have you ever watched Twin Peaks? And are you guys ever going to review Mulholland Drive and Blue Velvet?
Ooh.
I love Dune, and I've seen Mulholland Drive.
Yeah.
And I'm aware of Twin Peaks, and I'm very, very well aware of David Lynch's Eraserhead, but I don't go out of my way to watch his films.
I've seen everything apart from Dune. I tried to watch Dune, and I had to stop halfway through.
The ending of June's really short. It kind of ties everything up into a bow in the last half hour.
But
Spoilers.
I've always loved David Lynch from watching Eraserhead.
Yeah.
Like someone just said, watch this film, and I had no idea
What you
I
were
was
watching.
And then from there, it's like everybody really enjoys Mulholland Drive, but I think his Inland Empire's a far superior film. But yeah, I mean, you always kind of know what you're going to get with David Lynch.
And what is that?
Surrealism.
Sort of a story sort of told out of context.
Yeah.
It's sort of in the background of what things are going on. You have to sort of delve deep for the story and work through his just fantastic imagery.
Strangely based in reality, but at the same time, it's like Eraserhead.
But I mean, some of it,
Eraserhead is really fucked up.
it's all in the
It's
subtext.
I mean, that's some really deep subtext. Really deep. And then you get to obviously later on Twin Peaks. Blue Velvet as well. It's like the seediness
Yeah.
behind the door. You know, things you don't really want to talk about.
Yeah, but it starts off in like picturesque suburbia, and then it sort of slowly goes through the grass, and there's this severed ear just sitting in there. Kind of that way. But he does some normal films, like, I mean, Elephant Man.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Trying to remember the Nick Cage film.
Con
Nick
Air,
Cage, Laura Dern.
The Rock, Weatherman, Stop Me, Ghost Rider.
Something
I'd love to see David Lynch do
Something
Ghost
what?
Rider.
Something
Heart.
Something
What
Heart
is it?
Darkness.
Nick Cage is like a Elvis loving. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, I digress.
So yeah, appreciation for David Lynch, definitely. Second one, especially for Ian, if you were to be sent to prison
Okay.
and only allowed to take one film, one book, one album, and one game with you, you can't take Resident Evil, what would they be?
Okay. Thinking outside the box now. If I'm being sent to prison for
Are you going to use it as trade?
knock on wood, never ever happens to obviously me. Responsibly, I wouldn't take anything with me, and I'd probably take a beating before I go in there, just to make sure, you know, I'm too ugly to become a bitch. On the other hand, if I could take all that stuff in there, what was it? A game?
One film, one game, one album, one book.
The book, one book.
Wikipedia.
Yeah. No, I can't have a device. Okay, the one film would be The Thing. One album, Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Nice.
The one book would be my WWE Encyclopedia. One game.
Yep, just one game.
I'm just thinking. I want Metal Gear Solid 3.
Wouldn't you pick like Minecraft or something endless?
Because I'll just keep playing Metal Gear Solid 3 on the better settings and try and get up that river without any ghosts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Jack Hawkins,
Hey, Jack.
what are your favourite movie tie-in games? I feel that movie tie-in games have received somewhat of a bad reputation over the years, and some genuinely good titles have been thrown under the bus due to being based on a movie.
I've got 2 already.
I got 2 immediately.
Sweet Home on the NES and King Kong, Peter Jackson's.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You're fighting a fucking giant monkey.
It wasn't a bad game, but it
It's a
was...
suitable tie-in.
Yeah, but it wasn't... I don't think it was that good.
I had to play it twice because it freaking crashed. Well, not crashed.
Corrupted your save.
No, something was supposed to trigger and it never did. And it saved there. And
Yeah.
I had to restart it just to get the 1,000 achievement points.
Damn. My first and immediate reaction was Alien Isolation. I just think that was one of the best movie tie-ins. You know, love the Alien franchise, and that game really fit into that alien world. It recreated Alien for me. Loved that game. And this year, Friday the 13th, the game has just painstakingly recreated. Great setup so that you can relive those moments from those films in a randomly sort of scenario. There's obviously the scenario is always the same, but how it happens and how they interact with the other counselors and with Jason is always slightly different.
Yeah.
That I think that's great.
I've got one.
Yeah.
It's going to be controversial. Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say RoboCop versus Terminator.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Alien vs Predator on the Xbox 360. That was a good game.
Oh, so not the arcade.
No, the
brawler.
multiplayer on the 360 version was awesome, and the film sucked so bad.
And I mean, those are the 2 recent ones that came to my mind. But I also remember the Chronicles of Riddick, Assault on Dark Athena. I remember when that game came out that it was, you know, it perfectly captured the universe of Riddick.
There was a game on that? I thought there was Butcher Bay.
No, there was a couple of games. Butcher's Bay, Escape from Butcher's Bay. And they were sort of tie-ins in between the films to explain what happened on the prison, why the bounty hunters are after him, gave you more characteristics with Riddick, the different ways you could approach different situations. I thought that was a great, graphically superior game for its time as well.
Well, I think some people would actually say they might prefer the game to the actual film in that case, which is a very rare
occasion. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. You know, that first game, just absolutely brilliant. Just it wouldn't have existed obviously without the Star Wars films, and BioWare in their prime making truly fantastic RPG experiences.
Yeah.
And Blade Runner, the game.
Oh yeah, I've still got that on PC.
Yeah, that was. I remember it was on like 6 discs. And you obviously played at Blade Runner, investigating the different murders.
Yeah.
It was one of the click and point adventure games with lots of dialogue, but the visuals and the music.
So much animation for back in that time, didn't it?
Yeah, fantastic.
All I'm thinking about is the Terminator on the Mega Drive. That game's so hard. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, like RoboCop versus Terminator.
Yeah.
I mean,
but they haven't made
it's
a
awesome
film
to play, but then it gets to a point where it's just too stupidly hard.
Yeah. Next question is from George Lear.
Hey, George.
Hi, guys. Thanks for answering my question. Just wanted to know, what do you think is the best werewolf movie ever? And what do you think of movies getting turned into TV shows and vice versa? Thanks for the awesome content.
Werewolf in Paris.
What? In London.
Now the Paris one's got that cool Eiffel Tower bit.
Dog Soldiers.
Dog Soldiers is
The
good.
Howling.
Yeah.
The Wolfman.
What, the most
The original.
recent?
The original, yeah.
I don't mind the remake. With
It was a bit
fun.
lackluster, and the transformation scene just wasn't up to it.
Yeah.
Ginger Snaps.
Nice.
I did see the second one once, and the third one I don't think I ever bothered with.
Yeah, I think I tried twice to watch the second one, but I never made it
the
through.
first one I thought was a really good take on the werewolf genre.
I really enjoyed it the first time I watched it, but it was a film we had for film studies, I believe.
Yeah.
And we had to rewatch it and look so closely at it.
It's
hard to
pulled
watch
all the
again.
pieces away. Yeah.
See, we are missing the obvious, aren't we?
Go on.
Teen Wolf.
That movie is awesome. It's all about just getting to know yourself and not being a stranger at parties and doing backflips on top of.
I'm gonna say I'm not a major fan
five.
of Teen Wolf.
I know not a lot of people are, but it's up there with Dog Soldiers.
Yeah. And what do I think of movies being turned into TV shows and vice versa? I think it's great. Hannibal was a great series.
Oh,
really enjoyed that.
I'm glad you brought that up because I finally got around to Wikipedia and Hannibal.
Yeah.
Well, because
you're missing out on some of the most fantastic
they are
acting
just remaking
and visual. It's overly stylized.
They're just remaking the movies into TV series.
Yes.
So you could watch Red Dragon and Mindhunter and Silence.
But there's a lot more Hannibal in this show that you don't
How
get
long
in
are
the
episodes?
films. They're about an hour each.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of cannibalism.
Mads Mikkelsen is fantastic
that's
in
a
the
lot of
role,
cannibalism,
and
I'm edgy or anyway,
And the visual flair of the show was good. It was really good.
You need to keep.
There's been some disappointing ones like Scream, but then there's been some interesting ones like Bates Motel.
Wait, there was a Scream.
Yeah,
I missed that.
I watched the first half of season 1 before I was like, no more. No more.
Yeah.
It was background fluff and then no more. But yeah, I think it's great. I think we'll see some more interesting... Watchmen is going to be a TV series
supposedly,
soon.
Supposedly.
Yeah, and there's others too. So, it's interesting to see it go in a different format and explore it in more depth.
All the Star Wars and Star Trek stuff is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
We love laser blasts.
Yeah.
Space stuff.
Next question's from Neil Winslow.
Hey, Neil.
Greetings from the birthplace of the electric guitar. Any plans on doing any Godzilla movies, even just for fun?
I would love to do Godzilla movies, but Gary is... he won't get them.
I've seen a few of them. Growing up with my brother, he watched quite a few of the Godzilla films.
They are awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate those films. But I don't get my monster fix with those films anymore.
That's why you go watch like 8 or 9 of them in a row.
Yeah.
And just learn Japanese from it.
I must say, most of my knowledge from Godzilla films comes from what you've said, Ian, and literally the Angry Video Game Nerds coverage of quite a few of, or if not all, the Godzilla films.
He is a big Godzilla fan.
And I love the passion that you guys have for Godzilla. I really hated the Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie.
Oh, that movie's awesome.
It's such a... you guys love Godzilla. You love that film too.
Yeah, I love that film because if you watch, was it Godzilla Final Wars?
I know that. I've seen the sequence.
When the original Godzilla grabs the Broderick Godzilla and throws him into the Sydney Opera House and blasts him with radioactive breath. That's just... It's a cool series, but yeah, I've watched... I got Dave to give me a bunch of films as a friendship thing. And I watched like 10 Godzilla movies over a course of like a month on weekends. You are literally just going for the explosions.
Yeah.
A lot of the stories don't make sense, or if they do make sense, are a bit dodgy. There's a lot of dodgy situations, and the acting is admirable, but you're waiting for the big explosions.
Yeah, I would space them out way further than that.
We should do one at some point, not the Matthew Broderick one. We'll do the original.
Do the original?
At some point, yeah.
2018.
Or Mothra.
We will do a Godzilla review of some form.
Fucking hell.
We'll have to roll the dice to see which one we get.
That was my childhood
yeah,
Godzilla.
we should make a Godzilla dice.
Yeah, and just roll it and see which one it lands on.
Oh, God.
How many films are there? How many dice do we need?
We'll just need one dice with about 9 sides. Yeah.
Next question's from Brahma Jesper Rasmussen.
Hey, Brahma.
The new Predator. What will it take to make you happy?
Blood, guts, violence.
Yeah. Keeping to the lore of the Predator films established, we know it's going to be...
He's got to be hunting them.
Yeah.
And,
a good hunt, good prey, good setup, good kills, interesting characters.
His prey have guns and, that justifies what he's going to do. So, obviously, he's got to try and take him out. But it's how far he's going to take him out. I mean, is he going to be using extra technology? Has he got spears, spear nets?
Yeah.
Has he got...
I think we'll see all the iconic weapons from
the plasma caster, the
yeah.
wrist blades. He's going to want to go wrist blades.
Yeah.
But then that's really up close.
and he'll get shot.
That's why I like Predator 2. It was just like, alright, it
All the
was
introduction of those weapons.
slightly into the future at that point.
Yeah.
But it was still relatable. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it was just him on the hunt. Very violent, lots of swearing.
It was
Don't think too much.
The Predator was right in there from the get-go.
Yeah.
You know, it knew what it was. There was no build-up. I mean, obviously in the first Predator film, Predator doesn't turn up till like...
Yeah, and it wouldn't make sense if it was like, oh, what's this creature again? It's like, we know, get on with
sequel,
it.
Yeah.
It's because he was in a war zone already. You
Yeah.
know, there was violence all around everywhere you look. So it was kind of satisfying seeing a predator do it. In the jungle, like in Predator and Predators, he's hunting, but it gets samey because you got the colour by numbers one being taken down. I hope they don't do that in this new one.
Yeah.
Just have a group and the big one's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, the communication guy's gone. Oh, look, the brother and sister have gone. I don't know who's in the group. There's a kid. Why is there a kid in the poster?
Well, it's in an urban setting.
Oh,
so...
God, it's Dawson's Creek about predators.
Well, doesn't it sound like Alien versus Predator Requiem, just without the
Yeah.
aliens?
That's what I'm thinking.
I have faith in the writer-director. I do. And I'm hoping that this new Predator film will be good. We'll find out next year. I'm hopeful.
We'll wait for the age rating. If it's a 15.
Jesper also says, and hope you will review a film soon that Gary likes. He needs to review some good stuff. He is in pain.
Oh, he gets to pick all of them. I don't get any
I don't
leeway.
get to pick all of them.
I don't get any leeway. He's all over the place.
Ian, do you think The Rock will have a match at WrestleMania with Triple H? And happy birthday. I will turn 39 in November and still hope on a Freddy vs. Jason review at some point.
Wow.
Danish Shelfer forever.
Happy birthday to yourself. I don't think so. If anything, Triple H would come back to fight Roman Reigns for the title.
Well, isn't it Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania?
Possibly.
That's what everybody talks about. So.
But if they come back, they're only going to hurt themselves. And, you know, we don't want to see them get hurt.
Will The Rock ever wrestle? I don't think he needs to. He just comes back, he says his own spiel, the crowd go wild, and he leaves.
Yeah, well, you can lay a couple of rock bottoms, a couple of pedigrees, but how long are you going to have a match for? I mean, can you imagine Triple H and The Rock doing an hour-long Iron Man match at WrestleMania?
No, they definitely wouldn't pull that off. But they could easily do 15 minutes. You know, all the signature moves, outside the ring a little bit, get back in.
For signature
The
moves,
Rock.
you mean Triple H taking a rock bottom through an announce table?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I don't think so.
And then the Rock, I don't know, pedigreeing Triple H through the table as well, just for good measure.
They could do a tag match.
Rock getting
actually.
the pin, crowd goes happy.
The Rock and Roman Reigns, and Triple H and Dean Ambrose. Oh.
Superman punch. And the last question's from Lewis.
Hey, Lewis.
How long have you and Gary known each other? Simple question. Simple answer. 16, 17 years.
17 years.
Yep.
It's been some trying times.
Like this afternoon.
Like this podcast.
Well, we'd love it, but, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost 20 years. 20 years to come as well.
No.
My mind's gone. My mind's gone. The future's bright. The future's orange.
What was that? Did you just drop an orange advert?
When was the last time it was called Orange?
Could drop a tango advert as well.
That's the last time you went out.
I don't go out anymore. I like my chair.
Well, with that, I'm going to bring this podcast to a close. Of course, Ian, I just want to thank you. And thank you also, Dave. And of course, we'll be back next month with the 12th podcast.
Christmas podcast.
Christmas podcast.
What should the theme be about?
And of course, yeah, I wonder what that podcast will be about. Of course, you can find our film reviews on Thursdays, game reviews on Fridays. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Patreon. We'll see you next time, everybody. Take it easy.
Peace out.
Bye.